Hey, what you doing over there?
Oh, I'm packing insulin for kids with diabetes.
See, every box here is literally a lifeline for someone in critical need. So check them out at directrelief.org and donate if you can. You might just bring a smile to someone's face.
This is the Bloomberg Black Business Beat. Conflict in the Middle East, mixed feelings about artificial intelligence, and more are causing turbulence in markets. But when things are volatile, John Rogers sees opportunity. Rogers is founder, chairman, and co-CEO of Ariel Investments, one of the largest and longest-running black-owned investment firms in the country. Speaking at Bloomberg Invest recently, Rogers had this warning about investing in AI.
This does remind me of when the internet bubble was booming at the turn of the century, and everyone wanted to buy the same .com companies. We think that's happening with these AI companies. Everyone is so excited about it, and the data centers are all the rage. Everybody wants to own a data center. Every real estate person I know, many public companies are investing in that way. So that would be a sector that I would be really concerned about.
Ariel is known for its value-driven investing approach. I'm Bloomberg's Justin Milliner on the Black Business Beat.
During Lowe's Pro Savings Days, the job works in your favor. My Lowe's Pro Rewards members buy more and save more on materials they rely on every day. Get up to 25% off select molding when you spend $1,000 or more, and up to 25% off Pergo Evercraft laminate flooring. Put Pro Savings Days to work for you. Members get more at Lowe's. Valid through 3/27. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Visit the Pro Desk or Lowes.com/terms for more details. Subject to change.
Pizza's here.
Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
He steps to the mic with a boom, ping, ping. Wisdom sharper than a beast's fierce sting. Words like fireflies that light the night. He turns the dark into blazing bright. Boom, ping, ping, the truth takes wing. Milwaukee's voice, let the city sing. Boom, ping, ping, hear the freedom ring. Sherwin's the king, oh, the airwaves king. Shake the ground, unveils the truth where lies abound. Politics, justice, social streams. He molds the chaos into dreams. No silence here, just the sound of change. Boom, ping, ping, rearrange. Boom, ping, ping, the truth takes wing. Milwaukee's voice, let the city sing. Boom, ping, ping, hear the freedom ring. Sherwin's the king, or the airwaves king. Through the static, through the noise, he amplifies the people's voice. Boom, ping, ping, like a heartbeat's call. He's got the wisdom to break down walls. Yeah. Da, 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 da.
Welcome to the program. Today is Monday, March 23rd, 2026. I suppose I could give you all sorts of details from history and colonization and resource deprivation and institutional and structural racism. I can explain away the violence that exists amongst us. I'm not even going to say it's in our community, because now the cancer of shootings, fatal and non, has metastasized to parts of the city in which we are not particularly accustomed. So there's a pendulum that swings, and the pendulum is, sometimes it's really, really light enforcement, and it's diversion, and it's treatment, and it's mental health counseling, and it's defunding the police so we can send in social workers to try and deal with situations that we know when the police show up, they escalate at times. And so there's a pendulum that swings toward rehabilitation and deferred prosecution, because when the pendulum swings in the other direction, you have heavy-handed law enforcement, you have 3 strikes laws, you have truth in sentencing. And then when that happens, we see the fallout from that. When people get really, really fed up with crime and violence, you get to a point where good people don't feel safe coming out of their house, and they're going to want the heavy-handed enforcement, because good people should be able to roam free in our society and not have to worry about the unthinkable, you see. Because people do get fed up. And then that pendulum swings toward heavy-handed enforcement. One example I can give you is the 1994 crime bill. People were fed up, especially people who lived in majority African-American neighborhoods. We wanted something done swiftly. We wanted something done decisively to deal with the overreaching elements of crime that was taking over entire central city neighborhoods all over the country. I believe the pendulum is swinging back in that direction, but here is where it gets a little bit complicated. We will find that when you have a heavy-handed kind of law enforcement, where there's truth in sentencing and people are getting longer sentences and there's a very little deferred prosecution, people are getting incarcerated for their first offenses, we will find that a disproportionate number of African Americans will be involved in that system, and then we're going to call it racist. And then the pendulum will swing back in the other direction to where we don't want to lock people up because it's not nice and it's not fair, and they're not at home with their families, and it's very, very racist. So we just let everybody roam free, crimes get committed again, and then the pendulum swings back in the heavy-handed law enforcement direction. Now, I can give you a whole bunch of excuses, but nothing still explains to me why in 2026, black people find it necessary to blow each other's brains out in public on weekends in entertainment districts surrounded by hundreds, if not thousands, of innocent people. There is no explanation you can give me. Yeah, we can talk about parenting and we can talk about low performance in school. All of that withstanding, there is simply no excuse for it. When we move into the warm weather months, we oftentimes expect high levels of crime. We know that our summers in the city of Milwaukee can be very devastating for a number of reasons. The temperature goes up and more people are outside, and more people that have been looking for the other person are more available and accessible, right? But we don't expect this stuff in March. We don't expect during the cold weather months or the first couple of days of spring for us to have summertime-like violence. And so please heed this warning as to what is coming our way. And the most infuriating thing about it, because I've been doing this job a long time, talking about the things that are happening in the community, and I try and stay solution-based, but we have to admit there are none, because this is a predictable cycle. We know that as the weather gets warmer, Violence becomes more intense, more people are shot, there's more homicides as the weather gets warmer, and we know it. We know that it's coming, but we are powerless to do anything about it. Now, there was a period of time, and I would agree with someone that said we had higher rates of homicides some decades ago, but it was localized. It was in a specific geographic area, and that is where you would dispatch your resources. Now, the cancer of the violence and the shooting has metastasized. Brady Street is going to be just as bad. And it's embarrassing because let me be clear about this. And we got to stop all this political correct nonsense. It's not every black person, but it's always a black person. Now, it ain't all of us now, but it's always us. The decisive action that we're going to have to take may upset some. It may seem racially biased, but if the shooters are racially biased, then the solution also has to be. Karen Tyler was appointed to lead the Milwaukee Office of Community Wellness and Safety, formerly the Office of Violence Prevention. I often don't mention that office because there is an expectation that having that office and having someone appointed by the mayor to lead the Office of Violence Prevention, now the Office of Community Wellness and Safety, is actually going to do something to prevent violence. It's not. Because we have the existence of high levels of crime in our city, we have like these scientific, data-driven, statistical approaches to how you can invest money. It's like sexual assault and child abuse and all sorts of other things that we can document that are related to crime. And so when you have the existence of these things in our city, and these things happen in cities all over the country, having an Office of Community Wellness and Safety or an Office of Violence Prevention enables the city to receive grant money to address some of these problems on the macro level. And so if I was to talk about the Office of Violence Prevention / the Office of Community Wellness and Safety, and I would tell you that this office exists and they have someone who is leading the office, but then at the same time, I'll talk about 5 people that got shot the weekend before, you would think that the office is no good. Then you would blame the director of the office, then you would blame the mayor, and it's just a matter of time before you blame the rest of the leadership. I love when people say, oh, we got a black county executive and a black mayor and a black sheriff and a black police chief. That don't matter. None of it matters. Does not matter the race of the people that are in these positions, because the violence that we see supersedes them, supersedes their experience, and supersedes any Office of Violence Prevention or Office of Community Wellness. When it comes down to it, and you can have all of the grant programs and all of the funding, and we can come up with great ideas. Mostly when we come up with ideas of how we can prevent violence and shooting in the city of Milwaukee, and don't worry, I'm going to get to the violent weekend in a second, because holy smokes, for March, this was a doozy. Talk about March Madness. You can't stop 2 people from arguing no matter how hard you try. You can have all of the resources and all of the grant funding and all of the after-school programs you want. You can have basketball leagues and you can have roller skating for the kids. You can't stop 2 people from beefing. 1. 2, you can't stop one of those 2 people or both of them from obtaining a firearm. I don't care how many dollars you get, how many resources you get. Now, what we can ultimately measure is this. I think we had 5 shootings over the weekend. 1 was a fatality. Maybe because we have thought about this problem before. Maybe because we do have some macro strategies. Still can't stop 2 people from arguing. That's impossible. And one of those it only takes one of those 2 people to have a gun. And then everybody's in danger. We've thought about this before. We've tried to plan for it. And so we had a weekend in March where 5 people were shot, 1 fatality. Maybe because of all of the different programs we have in the Office of Community Wellness and Safety and the Office of Violence Prevention, which are the same thing, maybe it would have been 7 shootings, but instead it was 5. It's like there's a knife in our back, 9 inches, and having all of these agencies and organizations and all of the grants. And keep in mind, the federal money is going to be dried up because Trump doesn't care. But we have this knife in our back, and the knife is the violence that keeps good people in the house. And because we have all these different organizations and agencies and grant funding, the knife is in our back 9 inches and then it gets pulled out 3 inches. There's still a 6-inch gouge in our back, but at least the knife got pulled out a little bit. But at the end of the day, we are still stabbed. I'm going to take a break, come back, talk about the details of what was an unnecessarily bloody weekend, essentially the first couple of days of spring. Expect for these actions to get worse, and expect inaction from all of the people that can make a difference. We're going to talk about all that and more on The Truth with Sherwin Hughes, exclusively on 101.7 FM. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 101.7thetruth.com.
The Brew Crew are back on March 26th.
Curio sends it deep to left, and there she goes!
Catch the Brewers on local TV as they open up the season against the Chicago White Sox.
And Yelich launches one deep right center field. Forget about it. Oh, my goodness, third deck.
Brewers opening day is presented by Construction Business Group. Tune in March 26th at 1:10 on Fox 6 in Milwaukee, or check your local listings to watch the game.
As the White House threatens to take over state elections, restrict abortion nationwide, and take away our health care, the Wisconsin Supreme Court is the last line of defense for our rights. That's why the Supreme Court election on April 7th is so critical. The ACLU does not endorse or oppose candidates, but wants you to make an informed decision. When it comes to abortion rights, Maria Lazar supported overturning Roe v. Wade and is endorsed by groups that want to ban abortion. Chris Taylor voted against abortion bans and defended abortion rights while working with Planned Parenthood. And on the issue of voting rights in Wisconsin, Maria Lazar defended efforts to rig elections for one political party through extreme gerrymandering of congressional and legislative districts. Chris Taylor opposes rigging the system with extreme partisan gerrymandering. On April 7th, stand up for our rights. Paid for by American Civil Liberties Union, Incorporated.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 101.7thetruth.com.
One man was killed and 2 other people were wounded in a shooting in downtown Milwaukee in the early morning hours of Sunday, March 22nd. What we know, according to the Milwaukee Police Department, just after 1 a.m., 3 people were shot on Water Street in the area of Juneau and Knapp. A 22-year-old was pronounced dead at the scene, and an 18-year-old and a 19-year-old were injured and both taken to a local hospital for treatment of non-fatal injuries. Victim has been identified. Family of the victim who died at the scene identified him as 22-year-old Dylan Jackson. Family told Fox 6 Jackson celebrated his 22nd birthday earlier this month. His family also noted that he leaves behind a daughter. And of course, as you would expect, the family has posted a GoFundMe account. Videos widely shared on social media appear to show a chaotic scene leading up to the shooting, including what looks like a person being pistol whipped in the street in one of downtown Milwaukee's busiest nightlife areas. So I did see that video, and it was gruesome. It happened right in the middle of the street. Maybe the 1200 block of Water Street, there's a guy laying in the street. To bring up a different perspective that I often hear, why do people shoot each other? Why can't they just fight? Back in the day, we used to use our hands and we used to fight. I really hate to break it to you, but we currently don't live in that era anymore. Nobody fights straight up. It's rare to see a one-on-one fist fight, mostly because I don't think a lot of these kids can fight and they don't want to risk being photographed and video, being beat up on social media and be made a laughing stock. That's number one. Number two, fights don't end when somebody gets knocked out. Do you know how many times we have witnessed someone, okay, they're fighting, right? Oh, good. They're having an argument. They're not shooting each other. They're fighting. Somebody gets knocked out. Now they are kicking an unconscious person in their head while they are out cold. They don't stop. You got to shoot somebody. And that's the mentality. I know you may not agree with it, but they don't fight fair. Even if they do fight and someone gets knocked out, typically fight's over, you won, go home before the police come. But they keep beating an unconscious person, meaning if you get into a fist fight, you may die in the fist fight. Or if you knock somebody out and they fall backwards and hit their head on the concrete, because you've seen those before where somebody's head bounces off of the cement, now that fight turned into a homicide. So we're essentially screwed either way. It's troubling because there are certain places where these kinds of things just shouldn't happen. But for some reason, when we gather, I'm not saying the white folks don't fight. When I was of that age, when I was going out on Water Street, I never really got into Brady Street because I remember Brady Street when it was disgusting. Before they revitalized Brady Street, probably in the mid or late 1990s, Brady Street was gross. Brady Street was poor white people and heroin addicts. Brady Street did not become an entertainment district until the city decided, hey, let's invest a whole bunch of money over here and make it nice and make it more of a destination. But that took decades to get Brady Street where it was. But Water Street was always just a place where you hung out. There were fights every night on Water Street. Sometimes people would fight in the bars. Sometimes the bouncers would kick them out and people would fight in the street. But that was it. And then everybody went back into the bar and you finished your beer. Now, with the inclusion of us, because we also didn't want to go to Water Street because culturally it did not offer anything for African Americans. The music wasn't for us. Just the overall theme of the nightlife, it was boring. It was like a bunch of stupid sports bars. Now, every now and again, you get a little bit of diversity, but we had more action and more culturally relevant night spots in our own community. And this is where I think the city screwed up. So when we tore down the freeway, which cleared up all the land in which we built the Fiserv Forum, which was necessary because we have to develop that land downtown. But what they did is they systematically closed a lot of the north side bars, taverns, restaurants, and lounges because, they were too violent. And what that did is if people wanted to go out and have a good time, have some drinks, and hear some music, now they had to go downtown because everything on the north side was closed. We had a whole bunch of clubs on the north side. And once I start bringing them up, y'all are going to start listing ones that even I forgot about. But when they closed those, that was a way to funnel people and funnel wallets downtown. Now, here's the thing. We need entertainment districts. We need them. We need the revenue in Milwaukee. Otherwise, we're going to continue to raise property taxes. We're going to continue to raise sales taxes and gouge people that cannot afford those regressive taxes. But what we cannot have is people that see each other that are in a beef or in a disagreement and then shoot each other in a crowd and pistol whip each other in the street. And I'm very embarrassed. And I'm not going to be one of those people that's going to say, no, we need to help them. We can help them, all right. You want some help? Get you a cellmate for the next 15 years. He'll get your mind right. We can't have it, ladies and gentlemen. And if you think for a second it's just parenting, and maybe it is, okay? Let's say it's parenting. By the time these kids is out and about on Water Street, they ain't listening to their parents no more. The damage has already been done. So let's back up and maybe we talk to young mothers and young fathers and say, hey, this is how you're supposed to raise your kids. Good luck with that. You know, as well as I do, you cannot tell a grown man or a grown woman how to raise their kids. No matter what their child is doing, no matter how bad and unruly and how dangerous the behavior is ultimately going to be. Because you can see some violent behavior in kids when they're 4 or 5 years old. You know they're going to be monsters. You'll see a mama make it up an excuse. That's just how he is. That's my baby. Yeah, he tried to stab me when he was 3, but he didn't know what he was doing. That's just my baby. Now he's 17 and has access to a 44 Magnum and he pulled a 44 Magnum on his mama. He didn't mean it. He was just mad. He didn't get good sleep last night. That's just my baby. You go ahead and you tell that woman that she did a bad job parenting her child. She'll want to kill you You ain't got to believe me. Talk to one of these MPS teachers. And a lot of these teachers are quitting their profession altogether because they can't handle it. These kids at some point start off in a classroom and they get expelled because their behavior is just outrageous and ridiculous. They have no goals. They have no aims. They have zero morals. They don't care. And it's really, really sad. But if we think that we can just all of a sudden fix this, because think about how many billions of dollars over the last, let's say 30 years. This is 2026. I take you back. I can go back 40 years. Go back to 1986, where we know that we've had a problem with violence in the city of Milwaukee. And you can trace it back to a loss of jobs and unemployment, and there's some structural and institutional racism. But we've known that. And every single year we come up with an idea or a solution or a strategy because each summer seems to be more violent than the next. And we come up with an idea and we got a plan and we get a program and we get some grant funding and we get some state funding and get some city funding and get some federal funding, and it just doesn't work. We have probably spent $1 billion or more on anti-violence strategies, and what has it gotten us? Nothing. It's not every black person, but it's always us, and it's frustrating. Because we as black people, no matter who you are, where you go, what you do, we still wear the scars of what happened the weekend before. Videos widely shared on social media appear to show a chaotic scene leading up to the shooting, including what looks like a person being pistol whipped in the street in one of downtown Milwaukee's busiest nightlife areas. The shooting happened across the street from Milwaukee School of Engineering's Kern Center, one of the premier engineering universities in the country. Somebody got shot right in front of the... Talk about irony. In a statement, the school said no one affiliated with MSOE was involved. Well, of course not. People in the area say the violence is becoming, wait for it, a troubling pattern. It's unpredictable when you got young people here that's drinking alcohol and walking around with guns. It's like something is bound to happen at some point, said Paris Howell, walking downtown. It's crazy. Others say they worry the incident could signal a repeat of last summer. It happens every single summer. So I have a solution. I mean, you're not going to like it, but at this point, it is not about what people like or not. We have to protect our entertainment districts, because when people decide that, and there's less people going out anyway, this younger generation, they don't really drink as much as baby boomers do in my generation. Generation X, we're a bunch of drunks. We drink and have fun. These younger generations, and I'm not saying it's because marijuana is prevalent. Marijuana's always been prevalent. They just drink less. For the first time in my life, I see bars that have mocktails. Hi, sir, would you be interested in a mocktail cocktail menu? No! I got mocktails at my house. I'm out here to drink. When we get to a point when people are like, you know, it's not worth it to go out, and more bars and more restaurants are closing, unemployment is going to go up, because our bars and our restaurants, our hospitality industry in the city of Milwaukee, it's probably one of our biggest industries. Other than that, I don't even know what we do in Milwaukee. We're a travel and tourism city. And when people decide that the violence on Water Street in particular is too bad and they're not going to go out anymore and these bars are going to close, you're going to start seeing Water Street boarded up. We're going to wish that we did something. Now, I got a solution now. It's ugly. Aesthetically, it's going to be kind of gross, but it will guarantee that nobody gets into what I think should be pedestrian only, a section of Water Street. No firearms are going to be able to get in. Now, people are still going to get drunk and fight. Okay, that's easier to handle than somebody shooting randomly in a crowd. But there have been other cities that have had similar situations, because I don't even think it's the patrons of the bars. It's young people that can't get into the bars that are out there just causing a disturbance and just hanging out and loitering and disturbing a whole bunch of people. And we ain't got nowhere for them to go. Sorry. And if we had a place for them to go, we can tell them to go roller skating. If we had a bunch of teen nightclubs, all they would do is shoot each other in those. We don't have those anymore. So they're just going to have to deal with the fact that there's nothing for them to do until young people begin to start policing themselves. They have more influence over one another than we do. They don't like us. We're old people. We don't know no better. Back in my day, and I can say that now, If we knew of two parties that had a disagreement, we would intervene. If we heard about two kids at school that were going to fight, we would have them fight somewhere off-site because we had a high level of responsibility for our behavior. And this is why I love the education that I got. Not only did I learn how to read and learn math and all that other stuff, learn how to form a sentence and a paragraph and all of this, a beginning and a middle and a conclusion to my compositions. I learned all that stuff too. I learned that if we have a 7th grade roller skating trip, and there's one fight in the lunchroom, the whole 7th grade roller skating trip is going to be canceled. So if we heard that two people wanted to fight, we would say, look, y'all are not going to fight, or you're going to fight somewhere else far away from the school, because if our 7th grade roller skating trip gets canceled because the two of y'all fight, the entire 7th grade is going to kick both of your asses. And guess what? They didn't fight, and we all went roller skating. Young people need to be much more empowered, because the only person, in my opinion, that can tell a 22-year-old not to shoot another 22-year-old is another 22-year-old. Hey, man, it's not worth it. Let's get out of here. No, it ain't worth it. No. Let's not cause the trouble and cause the disturbance. You might shoot them. You might miss them. You might kill a 72-year-old white woman walking her chihuahua. Don't do it. It makes a lot more sense coming from one of their peers than coming from me or coming from the mayor. Take a break, come back, continue our chit-chat. You're listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. I'll be right back.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 101.7thetruth.com.
Thank you, Milwaukee. Because of you, the 2nd Annual Truth Community Awards was an unforgettable celebration of the leaders, changemakers, and heroes who make our city shine. A special thank you to our incredible partners, Milwaukee College Prep, the Milwaukee Bucks Foundation, Gruber Law Offices, Steinhoffels, Cousins Subs, and 3rd Street Market Hall. And thank you to our presenting sponsor, Potawatomi Casino Hotel. Together, we're celebrating community, culture, and impact. We'll see you next year at the Truth Community Awards.
I take care of the kids, and I take care of my dad. I take care of things at work. The groceries, the cleanups, the meltdowns, the doctor's visits, the family events, mealtimes, bedtimes. I take care of all the things everyone else needs. But I haven't made time to take care of what I need.
Family caregivers are often overloaded. It can feel overwhelming and exhausting. It's no surprise that millions of caregivers experience symptoms of anxiety and depression every year. But help is available, because there may only be one you, but you don't have to do it alone. Head to mentalhealthcareworks.org. That's mentalhealthcareworks.org to learn how to get the support you deserve, because mental health care works when you make the call. If you're experiencing a mental health crisis or thoughts of suicide, dial 988, a message from the American Psychiatric Association Foundation.
Many of our most important memories are made at school. But for children like Victoria, the classroom can be a place of fear and isolation. She wore a bandage over her cleft every day, too shy to speak, too afraid to smile. Everything changed after one life-transforming surgery made possible by Smile Train. Today, Victoria's smile lights up her classroom, a symbol of confidence, connection, and new beginnings. Due to stigma, children with untreated clefts often miss out on school entirely. But thanks to Smile Train, students like Victoria are stepping into the classroom, raising their hands, and finding their voice. Smile Train partners with local experts to support with free cleft surgeries and other comprehensive care, empowering children to thrive in school and in life. Let's help every child walk into the classroom with confidence. Visit smiletrain.org/learn.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 101.7thetruth.com.
It's unpredictable when you got young people here that's drinking alcohol and walking around with guns. And I don't So I don't go down there because I got no business down on Water Street. That, for me, was 30 years ago. It's other stuff for me to do. And plus, I don't want to put myself in a situation where problems are likely to arise. I got no business being down there. Plus, I can be the grandparent to a lot of them kids. And I also am not very tolerant, and I know this about myself, I'm not very tolerant of rude young people because I come from an era where if you see gray hair on somebody's face, you leave that person alone. And I'd end up getting shot because I just wouldn't tolerate it. It's also why I'm not a teacher, because I would kick your kids' asses. I would have the shortest teaching career in the history of education. I would begin, what time does school start? 7:30, 8 o'clock. First period start at 7:30. I'd be fired at 7:42. Wouldn't even get a paycheck yet. So there are solutions, because I think that we need to protect our entertainment districts. But what we're not going to do when we impose a different kind of restriction, we're not going to say it's racist. We're not going to do that. And I know that there are great kids that don't cause any trouble, but even great kids add to the crowd, add to the mayhem. They want to go down where all the action is at. They want to take pictures and videos and put them on their Instagram stories. So one of my favorite American cities is Memphis, Tennessee. And a lot of my family lives in Memphis, Tennessee. In fact, I'll be spending a fair amount of time in Memphis this summer. Memphis has an entertainment district that I think is one of the greatest in the country, and it's Beale Street. Beale Street had its problems with shootings and with violence. And the South don't play that. They got the death penalty in Tennessee. Oh, also, our YouTube question of the day, which people are already voting in and showing some very interesting preference. If you go to youtube.com or open up your YouTube app from your smartphone or other mobile device, search 1017 The Truth and hit subscribe. I'm asking a simple yes or no question, as we do every single day, because I have an inquisitive temperament. I want to know how you all feel about certain subjects. The question is, should Wisconsin bring back the death penalty? 57% of you say no. I'm an anti-death penalty guy too. But I know that when the pendulum starts to swing, and it's swinging, when I hear a chorus of African-American people saying, you know what, we need harsher penalties, we need longer sentences, we need truth in sentencing, that means the pendulum is starting to swing. But then I remember some years ago when it was swinging back in the other direction, where we wanted to defund the police and we hated the police and we didn't want any law enforcement because, George Floyd. No, people need rehabilitation and they need drug treatment and they need therapy and they need counseling. And if a person has a gun and they're threatening to shoot somebody, then you send in a social worker. Like, that was actually a thing. I also realized that the whole defund the police movement, which was much more nuanced and complicated than just the slogan, Democrats lost across the board. And I think that the defund the police slogan enabled Donald Trump and his supporters, because he's a law enforcement guy. He's law enforcement on other people, not law enforcement on himself. The pendulum is starting to swing to where people want tougher enforcement. So why should good people that have worked their entire lives or have played by the rules and followed the rules, why should they be afraid? Now, granted, it's still a small number of people. Oh, I also should let you know, of the 5 weekend shootings, unless something happened since I got on the air or since the last local news story was put out, no suspects in custody. Isn't that crazy? I mean, they're going to catch some of them. All these cameras, and everybody knows who did it. I don't even know if has there been a conviction in Antoine Hogan's, they called him Young Tweezy. He got shot on Water Street, got murdered. In fact, he was on Tory's show that Wednesday. Tory Lowe's Walk Against Violence was that Saturday. Antoine was on Tory's show looking forward to participating in Tory Lowe's anti-violence walk But unfortunately, Mr. Hogan's was murdered the night before. It also was the same night we had our Beyond the Mic event, and one of our locations that we considered, now luckily it didn't take place, was a Water Street bar. And that replay is in my head. Had we had our, the Beyond the Mic thing, some of you may not be familiar. We used to, I say used to, we don't do them anymore. We used to get our show hosts and producers and all the folks here at Good Karma Brands and 101.7 The Truth, and we would all convene at a bar or a lounge or a restaurant in the city where we'd all get together and mingle and socialize and also support that business. I don't do those anymore for a number of reasons. They also got a little bit too complicated, and the risk was starting to outweigh the reward. But one of the locations that was on the short list of where we're going to have our event was actually on Water Street. There was a murder a block away. Now, not at the establishment that we were considering having our Beyond the Mic at, but in the vicinity, meaning anybody who was at our event, had we had it on Water Street, walking to their car or walking north on Water Street or just, milling about, could have caught a stray bullet. And if that would have happened, I wouldn't be able to live with myself. So I've already started to pull back and curtail some of my social activities because I don't even want to be in the vicinity of these people. So Beale Street has become pedestrian only, and I'm going to suggest this for Brady Street as well, because Brady Street is just as bad. I remember seeing the videos last year where you had the fire department, the fire trucks were down there. I don't know if they were there to respond to an emergency or to block traffic, but you had these girls climbing on top of fire trucks and twerking. Are you kidding me? Oh, wait till I give you the statistics about EMTs. Oh, you're going to love this. 72% of the EMTs, so when we shoot each other, there's a white boy coming to save your life, and I guarantee you some of them are letting us die. We don't even think about that part. In all of the career paths that we shove down the throats of black men, we want them to be in the trades. We need to be more EMTs, because I guarantee you some of these racist white boys, when they come to the scene, there is zero urgency in them saving our lives. Oh, he's flatline. Person is clearly still breathing. Yeah, they're called the medical examiner. They're not going to make it. I went to lunch with a friend. This was some years ago. And I parked my vehicle on Oakland because we were going to the little poke joint. What's the poke joint called? Fresh Fin, right there on Oakland and the Locust right there. We was going there for lunch because I like me some poke. You know what I mean? So I'm parking my vehicle on Oakland, about half a block or so. No, I'm on, where was I? Locust, Oakland? North and, where's Fresh Fin at? That's North Avenue and Locust. So I'm parking my vehicle on, Oakland and North. Get my life right. Good God, Sherwin. So I'm parking my vehicle on Oakland, about to go to Fresh Fin that is on East North Avenue. So I parked my vehicle in front of, I'll never forget it, it was a black Ford Expedition with really dark tinted windows. So I parked my vehicle. I'm about to get out. I see this white guy wearing like this red polo shirt and khaki pants running across the street toward my vehicle. I'm like, uh-oh, old white dude wants some smoke. It looked like he was running toward my car, but he was running toward the black Ford Expedition that I parked in front of. And I get out of my vehicle and I see him pounding, absolutely pounding on the driver's side window like he's trying to break the window of this Ford Expedition. I'm like, what is happening? Older white man with your khaki pants and tucked in red polo. He said, my daughter is in this vehicle. Right after those words come out of his mouth, of course, a fire truck pulls up. And the way the EMTs hopped off the fire truck, it was so leisurely, no rush, no urgency. They just kind of hopped off. One comes around from the side of the fire truck. He's got his bag with him. And then I'm watching the whole thing. So at this point, I crossed the street. So now I'm on the other side of the street, pulling my camera out, and I posted the video of it. because I had to see what was going on, you see. They shattered the window. They had a glass breaker thing, broke the window, unlocked the door, and they pulled out a probably 19 to 21-year-old Caucasian woman from the driver's seat. She was blue. I'm thinking, oh my God, this girl is dead. And here's what the EMTs did. Laid her in the street, not on the sidewalk, not on the grass, into the street. And then I saw, for the first time in my life, Narcan being administered. She overdosed. Now, what I come to find out is that people that have certain types of drug problems will use in public, like where she was right on Oakland Avenue when she was using. They'll use in public, so if they overdose, they're more likely to be found. And apparently her father was driving around looking for this black expedition, and he found it, but he was a little bit too late. And when I looked at how leisurely, because I also come to find out these EMTs, especially in the height of the opioid epidemic, which I'm not sure if it's even declined yet, they were getting like 100 calls a day throughout Milwaukee County for overdoses. Who knew? And they do so many of those calls that they don't even really have any urgency, the EMTs, when they show up. And I'm thinking to myself, this was a white girl, and they had zero urgency for her. Imagine if it's a 19-year-old black man that gets shot on Water Street. They're probably going to have even less urgency for him. This is something we need to think about. Because if we know that these problems are going to exist amongst black people, whether we are in black spaces or white spaces or entertainment districts, then we probably should be telling black men and women to be EMTs so at least we can have a fighting chance when emergency shows up. Because I think some of these white folks are letting us die. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. We'll be right back.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 101.7thetruth.com. Milwaukee Black Talk.
You don't want to be there. You don't like the work. You don't like the people. Now, there are some differences. The only difference is modern American slavery and capitalism versus 19th century. We were dramatically more primitive back then. And a slave that is able to buy their freedom is the same as the disaffected, disgruntled worker that is able to buy their way into entrepreneurship because that for them is free.
Listen to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes, weekdays from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m.
Hi, this is Sherwin Hughes from 101.7 The Truth, and I want to talk to you about something bigger than just buying a house. I'm talking about building a legacy. Owning a home isn't just about four walls and a roof. It's about giving your kids a place where memories are made, where birthdays are celebrated, and where they always belong. It's about planting roots, knowing your neighbors, waving from the porch, and being a part of a community that feels like family. If you've been renting and wondering if home ownership is even possible, Axe Housing is here to work with you. An Axe Housing coach will help you create a plan, a budget, and move step by step toward owning a place you can truly call your own. They've already helped over 4,000 families become homeowners, and many are paying less than they were paying for rent. Don't let where you are today stop your families tomorrow. Start your journey at axehousing.org. That is ACTShousing.org. Your legacy begins at home.
You spend more than 2,500 hours a year on your mattress, so is your mattress working for you? It's time to upgrade your sleep game during Steinhoffel's Mattress Madness. Their sleep experts will match you with the perfect mattress so you can wake up rested, refreshed, and ready to take on the day. Shop all the top brands at unbeatable prices, plus enjoy free delivery and a 120-night sleep guarantee so you can rest easy knowing you made the right choice. Shop Mattress Madness in-store at steinhoffels.com today.
It starts with a spark. At Milwaukee College Prep, they nurture that spark from age 3 through 8th grade, building scholars with knowledge, character, and confidence. 88% of their students face economic hardship, but that does not define them. At MCP, they see students' potential, and they help them live up to that potential. 4 campuses, 1 mission. College and beyond, MCP is free, high-performing, and open to all Milwaukee families. Visit MilwaukeeCollegePrep.com to enroll or get involved. That's MilwaukeeCollegePrep.com. Join me every Friday at 11 a.m. for the Milwaukee Experience with Sherwin Hughes, presented by Visit Milwaukee. We're a city that knows how to celebrate, where the calendar is packed with festivals, the plates are piled high with flavor, and a lakefront sunrise sets the stage. Here in Milwaukee, every street leads to something worth savoring, a place that welcomes you with open arms and where joy is shared in bites, beats, and cheers. The Milwaukee Experience every Friday at 11 a.m. exclusively on The Truth with Sherwin Hughes, presented by Visit Milwaukee.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Former Milwaukee Alderman Jonathan Brostoff, may he rest in peace, suggested making Brady Street all pedestrian. And when you do that, you have much more control. So you have it gated off both ends. And if you want to enter the area where all the entertainment is and the bars and all of the nightlife is, you are going to be wanded, metal detected. Okay, your ID is going to be checked and recorded. So we know every single person that's going to be in this now pedestrian-friendly strip of Brady Street. We would do the same thing for Water Street. Water Street would be a little bit easier. Parking, of course, would be a challenge on Brady Street. So at some point, we're going to have to lose some real estate on Brady Street and put up a parking structure. They'd have to. But the only way to make it safe, because if we lose the entertainment district, the amount of revenue that we're going to miss out on and the number of people that are going to be unemployed is going to be catastrophic for the city. And we cannot let the bad actors, which I believe there's only a few, but all it takes is a single idiot with a gun. That's all it takes. And thousands of people's lives can be upended by that. So you block off the ends, so it would be the east end and the west end of Brady Street. When it comes to Water Street, it would be, let's say, from McKinley to State Street, and you put up bollards and maybe you put up fencing. But this would be for very crowded springtime and summer weekend nights. It wouldn't be all the time, where Water Street would then be closed to traffic. And on both ends, you have security. Everybody's got to be 21. If you're not 21, what are you doing? Can't be over here. But we don't got nowhere else to go. I bet you got some homework you need to do. Bet you got some additional tutoring you could probably benefit from. You just can't be down here. 14, 15, 16-year-olds out there with grown folks at those bars. So what you do is you're going to gate it off. This is a security plan that has worked on Beale Street in Memphis, Tennessee, which it was way worse. They had murder after murder after murder on Beale Street. They're like, you know what? Enough. We don't want to sacrifice the many generations. Like B.B. King used to perform on Beale Street. Like Elvis Presley, if you like that fella, he used to hang out on Beale Street. And they didn't want to have to shut that legacy entertainment district down in Memphis, Tennessee. So they blocked it off, and if you want to get into Beale Street, you are going to get searched, you're going to get wanded, you're going to show your ID, and you're going to pay $10. Don't like it? Go somewhere else. For the people that want to have a good time and know that no guns are getting in, that nobody under 21 is going to be there milling about, causing trouble, smoking weed all over the place, for some people it is worth it to pay the $10. And what the $10 will do is it will push away some of the people that don't have, because if you're not out there doing anything, the $10 would be a waste of money for you. You can't get in any bars. Like, who's going to pay $10 just to walk around? They'll find something else to do. Or hell, make it $20 for all I care. Beale Street only charges $5, which that's a little too low for me. And so you block off Water Street, put up gates, put up barricades. I don't care what you do. At McKinley, and then another one at State Street. And if you want to enter that area that will only be for pedestrians, you will be searched, you'll be wanded, you'll show your ID, and you will pay. And the $10 can go to additional police presence. It can go to hiring additional security staff. It also could be split among some of the bars that very well may lose a little bit of revenue, because you probably will have some folks, at least the initial onset of this new security program and protocol, some folks are going to shy away from that. But then eventually, once you have a successful summer where no one gets shot, the next summer, business may very well return. It is a foolproof, well, not entirely, but it's an idea that has worked in other places. Because the thing about Milwaukee is we will look at what has worked in other places because we think it's bad here. It's worse in other places. Way worse. Now, we're not a direct one-to-one comparison. Milwaukee is never apples to apples with any other city in the country. But dealing with young people and violence and entertainment districts, because Milwaukee's got to protect its investments. The amount of money that has been funneled downtown, well, I know that has been to the chagrin of a lot of people. Folks have wanted to see more resources poured into neighborhoods. But for what? For what? What are you going to build in a neighborhood? For what? What are you going to put there? Build more houses? Who's going to buy them? It's going to get gentrified. What are you going to do? Bring more jobs? Far too many of our people don't have a resume. They can't get a job. We think that if we just bring a bunch of employers here, and we've tried that before. For a long time, for like 10 straight years, people in this city said we want jobs, especially during the Great Recession of 2006, 2007, 2008. We needed jobs in this city because we were losing, under the Bush administration, 1 million jobs a month. So people were like steadfast, we need more jobs, we need more jobs. And jobs came. In fact, the jobs that were available in the city of Milwaukee, now this statistic is old, but it's still one that's very important. They averaged like $40,000 or $50,000 a year and paid full benefits. There was a point where the number of job seekers was equivalent to the number of jobs that were available. I'm not talking about minimum wage stuff. I'm talking about 40, 50 grand a year plus benefits. And guess who got those jobs? People from Ozaukee County, Racine County, Washington, Dodge County, and Waukesha County, because the people in Milwaukee were not qualified to get the jobs that were open in their city. So then people stopped screaming for, we need more jobs, because the jobs were coming. The companies were coming. We gave away all sorts of land. You know how much land the city of Milwaukee gave away? The Fiserv Forum land, and there's another little strip of land that we had just to the east, to the northeast of the Fiserv Forum land. They put condos on that because the condos bring in property tax revenue. We gave land away to get it developed. More jobs, more businesses, more construction income, more taxes, more revenue, et cetera, et cetera. And the jobs came, and we couldn't get them. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. We'll be back for hour 2.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Milwaukee, get ready. Join 101.7 The Truth on March 24th from 6 to 7 p.m. for a special live conversation about the upcoming Black Family Wellness Expo. Denise Thomas will be joined by members of the Links Incorporated to share how this powerful community event is bringing free health screenings, wellness resources, and support to families across Milwaukee. Don't miss this important discussion and learn how you can get involved. Tune in live March 24th, 6 to 7 p.m. only on 101.7 The Truth.
Truth Nation, Gruber Law Offices and The Truth have raised the stakes for this year. The One Call That's All Gruber Cash giveaway is now a $5K giveaway. Yes, you heard it right. $5,000 giveaway. Every weekday on 101.7 The Truth, you will have the chance to be entered to win the 5K giveaway. Listen to The Truth for the One Call That's All cue to call for your chance to win $5,000. Gruber Law Offices, One Call That's All. Visit 1017thetruth.com for official contest rules.
70 million people in the U.S. have learning and thinking differences, like ADHD and dyslexia. Each has their own story. This is ours. At first, I thought it was just a phase. Then schoolwork became a struggle. Emotions got bigger, and my kids started falling behind. I felt alone, like I was lost in the dark trying to find answers. Then I learned about Understood.org, a nonprofit empowering parents and kids like us. It was like we had a light to show us the path ahead. Whenever new challenges came up, their guidance helped us figure out our next step. We still have tough days, but now we have direction. And I have the tools and resources I need to help my child thrive. No matter where you are on the path, Understood can help you keep moving forward. Visit understood.org/yourpath today.
We asked parents who adopted teens to share their journey.
Nathan has taught me to embrace the moment. Age-wise, I'm in my late 60s. I'm old enough to be his grandfather. Will he be embarrassed to acknowledge me as his dad? I think the most important thing we can do is let them know that they're safe, that they're valued and cared for and loved, and that they're important.
I knew I wanted to be adopted by him because of how he taught me to be the person who I am today. And it's coming from a dad that didn't expect to become a dad. And I feel very proud to be his son.
That was what he needed, and he was what I needed. Every day is full of new opportunities. That's what it's been about, realizing the simple things that it takes to make such a huge difference in these kids' lives.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care at adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
All of your favorite 1017 The Truth content whenever you want. The Truth app has it all. The Truth is on 1017 and 1510 WGKB Waukesha, a locally owned Good Karma brand station.
This is The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Welcome to Hour 2 of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. There were 5 victims of gun violence in the city over the weekend. These are usually summertime numbers. When the weather gets real hot, you get real high numbers of fatal and non-fatal shootings. So we're getting a bit of a head start on what we know is going to be an incredibly violent summer. And so you can't extinguish it completely, but you can make sure that certain areas of high investment are protected, because there's certain places in the city where none of this stuff should happen. People should feel free to roam about our entertainment districts and spend money and have a good time and not have to worry about not coming home. That's just a basic sentiment, because at some point, people are not going to go out anymore. They're going to stay home, or they're not going to visit some of these districts that we invested many, many millions of dollars in. And the reason why we've invested the amount of money we have in downtown is because there's a lot of people that are employed downtown. There's a lot of wallets downtown. There's a lot of travel, a lot of tourism, where we can get the most bang for our buck based upon real estate that is downtown. And the property taxes for real estate downtown, bars, nightclubs, lounges, restaurants, and condos are higher. We need the revenue. And I'm going to tell you that we need the revenue, because if you go to near North Side or near South Side zip codes where the properties are valued much lower, the property tax revenue per square foot is also very, very low. So we're not even intaking enough money to meet the basic needs and resources to run the city, to plow the snow, to pick up the garbage, to change the street lights and all the other stuff, and hire all the police that we have to have by law because of Act 12. So we have to invest money downtown because the return on that investment is higher. We also have to protect it. So if you buy a car, some of you buy them, some of you steal them. By law, you have to have insurance, and you should want it. People don't often account for the additional costs in owning a vehicle. Insurance is one of them. It's like if somebody wants to buy a condo, they think about the principal and the interest. They don't often think about the property taxes and the condo fees. So owning a vehicle is more than just its purchase price, your monthly payments, your interest rate, etc. It's gas, it's maintenance. It is also insurance. And a vehicle is a big investment. Cars are very expensive. The average price of a new car is insane. It's about $50,000. That's too much money for a car, unless you keep them forever. I tend to keep my cars a long time. I'm not one of those people, I'm going to get a new car every 2 years. For what? I'd fall in love with my vehicles. Stick with it forever. But I also know that it's not really an investment, it's a purchase, but it's an expensive purchase. And if something happens, knock on wood, I hope nothing does, I want to insure my expensive purchase. When you invest in something that has value, and of course our vehicles have value to us, we may take a sense of pride in our vehicles also. While a vehicle is not an investment per se, buying a vehicle helps you get to the places where you can make money. Does that make sense to you? Some of you can't work where you work if you didn't have a car. So your car is the investment vehicle, literally, that allows you to get to the place where you can make a salary and get your health insurance benefits, et cetera, et cetera. So they're very important, vehicles are. So you have to have it insured. Also, vehicles can do an awful lot of damage. If you own a home, you have to insure your home. As much as my neighbor likes to set his damn house on fire, I'm glad I got homeowners insurance, but I think it's required by law that you have homeowners. No, maybe it isn't. I don't know. But I definitely want to insure my house. If we invest money in entertainment districts where a lot of people are employed, where a lot of people go to hang out and have dinner and spend money and listen to music and have a couple of drinks, we have to invest in safety and security for that entire district, not just individual bars and locations. It's very easy, I think, for a bar or an establishment, Water Street, Brady Street, Milwaukee Street, wherever, to not let someone in who's under 21. And I don't know what fake IDs are like nowadays, if they can make them the way they used to. But you can have a little bit more control over who gets into your establishment, but you have a lot less control over who comes to the general area and causes problems. If we do something similar to what they did on Beale Street. Now, it's not aesthetically pleasing. Nobody wants to see gates and bars and those big old bollards right there that stop traffic, and they don't want to see checkpoints. But this is the world that we live in. Look, you go to the airport, and the airport's got all sorts of security. This is the part that baffles me. There are places in American society where you just can't get a gun. You can't get a gun in certain places. We can make more places gun-free. Now, people still might argue. They still may yell at each other. They may get drunk and want to tussle a little bit, but that's different than somebody pulling out a Glock 19. Beale Street's gated security plan, part of a, quote, robust safety initiative, utilizes high-rated, crash-tested bollards and temporary barriers to secure the entertainment district. This is exactly what we need on Water Street, and we know that we need it. I just don't know why we ain't doing it. Probably the same reason why a lot of suburban schools, high schools, middle schools, don't have metal doors, don't have wands and security checkpoints and metal detectors, because they don't want the image, the negative image that there might be guns getting into the schools. So they're willing to take the risk of guns getting into suburban schools to not appear as if they are one of those central city, inner city schools. Here's one thing I'll say about MPS. I like to say good things about the district when I can. Oh, they've also added 3 new positions to the school board, where they're going to add 3 high school students to the MPS school board. Now, they're not voting members. I wish they were. But they can give their assessments and they can provide their ideas to the school board. I think that is genius, because here's one thing I know about adults. We get it wrong. We get it wrong. We are not young people in this era. And when we think back, so when we were young, the world was different. Very few things, other than like old school child rearing, very few things are transferable from, the 20th century into the 21st. Everything is different. The impact of social media on life, on culture, on society, on parenting, on all of that stuff is just so incredibly different. So we can't look, and this is what we always do, because I've taken 1,000,001 calls on subjects like this. Sherwin, back in my day, see? We used to go to the skating rink. That's right. Yeah, that's what we used to do. Shut up. Ain't nobody going skating. Y'all make it seem like we skated all the time. Nobody goes skating that damn much. We make it seem like we went roller skating, because that's what people always say. We need more roller skating and more after-school basketball program. There's a lot of fat kids. Ain't nobody playing basketball. Yes, we had a lot of basketball, because video games sucked back in our day. You were better off playing in real life. Now video games are like 4K and artificial intelligence. Hell, I'd stay in the house. If we had the video games that they have now, back in my day, I probably wouldn't have left the house either. But we didn't have all sorts of in-home entertainment back in the day. If you didn't have cable, you had 6 channels. There wasn't nothing on TV, you're better off going outside. So you can't compare our boring and lackluster technology-free lives back in the 20th century compared to now. See, Sherwin, back in our day, this is what we need the kids to do nowadays. And if you tell that to a young person now, they'll punch you in the face. That stuff don't work no more. So adults get it wrong. Having these young people, 3 high school students, now be a part of the MPS school board. Now, they can't vote, but they are there to give the assessment. And I'm looking forward to going to a school board meeting when the young people are on the board, because they will shut down and shoot down some of these stupid ideas that adults have. Adults will say some stuff like, maybe we need to have a knitting class. You know, my grandmother used to knit sweaters and mittens. Yeah, maybe we should offer them a class where they learn how to do woodworking. I can't give one of these kids a saw. Did you guys have industrial arts class back in your day, like wood shop and metal shop? The tools, we were using a bandsaw in 7th grade. Well, maybe we were just more responsible, because I remember our industrial arts teacher, he'd be like, all right, if you cut your hand off, you're not going to get another hand. That's all you had to tell me. All right, don't stab each other with the files. We had gigantic murder weapons in our industrial arts class. Do you know that they probably couldn't even have that in these schools now, because the kids would steal them and murder each other with them? Beale Street's gated security plan, part of a robust safety initiative, utilizes high-rated, crash-tested bollards and temporary barriers to secure the entertainment district. This is what we need for Water Street. Brady Street, too. I think Brady Street is worse. Xavier lives near the Brady Street and Water Street area. He says it ain't that bad. But I'm also comparing it to when Brady Street wasn't even all that popular a long time ago. It's real bad now. Black people never went out on Brady Street. Now, I'm not saying that the issues and the problems that we saw, the 5 shootings took place over the weekend, it's not every black person, but it's always us. And we make up a lot of excuses for it, which, okay, fine. But that's not solving the problem. Key features include permanent vehicle stopping bollards at key intersections, supplemented by temporary barriers, metal detectors, and increased Memphis Police Department presence during high traffic times. Permanent safety bollards designed to stop a 7.5-ton vehicle traveling at 40 miles an hour are positioned at critical entry points like Beale and B.B. King Streets and Beale and 2nd Street. The city deploys 10 temporary barriers rated to stop a 3.5-ton vehicle at 30 miles an hour during weekends, concerts, and major events. The system, which can include metal detectors and potential cover fees, allows for controlled access, ensuring security while maintaining the district's atmosphere, as noted by Concentric Security, Inc. They got a private security company doing all their stuff in Memphis, Tennessee. Police presence. Increased Memphis Police Department officers are stationed in the area to maintain order and security, according to the Memphis Commercial Appeal. That's their paper. The safety measures are supported by, oh boy, that's a lot of money. Oh boy. A $74 million downtown public safety grant from the state of Tennessee, as detailed by the Downtown Memphis Commission. I know all this because my cousin used to be the CEO of the Downtown Memphis Commission. Most of what he did was safety and security on Beale Street, because you got to protect your entertainment districts. And so once we essentially ban young people, and maybe you make it 25 and up. I don't know if that does any good. Maybe it does. I know the number of people that were shot were all in their mid-20s. Most of them were over the weekend. But once young people have nowhere to go, maybe it forces a conversation amongst them to where they are starting to self-police and say, look, we have nowhere to go because of you all, because of you few. Get your acts together. Stop doing this stuff, because now we have nowhere to go. You have to take privileges away from kids. They're not entitled to be everywhere all of the time, all at once. Now, it was different in our day because we weren't acting a fool, because we knew that if we messed up and got in trouble, all of the things that we enjoyed would be taken away with no advance warning, and we couldn't complain about it. There's none of that now. Like, kids are entitled to 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning. Now, this is silly to think we're going to enforce curfew, because we're not. That's never going to happen. It would take up too much police presence. But there needs to be nowhere for them to go. 5 people were shot. 1 person died at the hospital following a shooting that is believed to be the result of an argument, according to the Milwaukee Police Department. That one happened near 37th and Darien Street Saturday just after 11 in the morning. That's an early start for the murder. The victims include a 20-year-old, 2 29-year-olds, a 21-year-old, and a 25-year-old, according to police. All were taken to a hospital where the 25-year-old man died from his injuries. Police said the other 4 victims suffered non-fatal gunshot wounds. Police said they are still searching for all the shooters. Anyone with information is asked to call Milwaukee Police at 414-935-7360. To remain anonymous, contact Crime Stoppers at 414-224-TIPS. Here's what I fear. All of the people that got shot know who shot them. They're not going to tell the police because they, the victims in this case, will be perpetrators in the next case. Let's say you got a warrant, and I don't know if you get shot and you have a warrant, I don't know if they arrest you, I don't know if they let you go or if the police even investigate. So if you get shot and you got a warrant, it's probably not in your best interest to go to the police because they'll arrest you because you got an outstanding warrant. But you may want to just go kill the person that shot you. I would feel some kind of way if I knew who shot me. I'd have some tough decisions to make. Because, if I know where they're at, I knew I shouldn't say that. I don't want to shoot anybody. I also don't want to get shot. I don't want to put myself in a situation where someone that, I know the person that shot me, I'd be very angry at them. I'd want to go see him. Do I go call the police? And the police, okay, we'll get around to it when we get around to it. Y'all better get there before I do. I don't know. I think a lot of the people that were shot, 4 of the 5, 1 was fatal, 20-year-old, 19-year-old, 21-year-old, 25-year-old. No, 2 29-year-olds, 20-year-old, 21-year-old. That's young people. They know who's mad at them. They know who shot them. And so guess what? Next weekend or maybe the next warm evening we have when everybody's out and about, these 4 victims will go on a hunt for who shot them and put all 4 of them in the hospital. And here's the problem. They don't care where they are nor who is around when they ultimately see and confront the person that shot them. That's the problem. They'll see this person in a crowd and start shooting in a crowd. What if I'm in the crowd? What if I'm downtown getting a hot dog, getting a sandwich? What if I'm downtown on a date with a very curvy and thick woman, thick thighs and a lot of buttocks? I'm just hanging out I'm on a date with a very chesty woman. And now people are shooting. Now, me and the chesty woman we got to lay on the ground. Now, this is not an ideal first date. And while we're laying on the ground, as the gunshots are going off and bullets are flying over our head, I still would ask her, do you think that there's a chance we go back to my house after this? Or now you just ruined my night. I was about to get laid, and now we got to dodge bullets.
A near-death experience might bring you guys closer together.
Maybe not. She might... Sherwin, I think I've seen enough for one evening. I think I want to go. No. You haven't seen enough. There's something I want to show you. You see there? All right, let's take a break. Come back, talk to Lisa on the other side. You're listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. I'll be right back.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 101.7thetruth.com.
I travel all around the world, Dr. Ken, and when I tell you, based on my experiences, this is like the number one country that cares. Like, everything is about money. Yep. Everything.
This is The Truth Unfiltered with Denise Thomas and Dr. Ken Harris.
I've told people in the past, you have to be careful of what you complain about and what you use as a tool because other people will take it and use it in the wrong way.
Sundays starting at 7 on 620 WTMJ and Mondays at 6 on 101.7 The Truth.
You spend more than 2,500 hours a year on your mattress, so is your mattress working for you? It's time to upgrade your sleep game during Steinhoffel's Mattress Madness. Their sleep experts will match you with the perfect mattress so you can wake up rested, refreshed, and ready to take on the day. Shop all the top brands at unbeatable prices, plus enjoy free delivery and a 120-night sleep guarantee so you can rest easy knowing you made the right choice. Shop Mattress Madness in store at steinhoffels.com today.
Life's better with Drive My Way from American Family Insurance because we know it's more than just a car. It's your escape pod, your adventure mobile, your memory maker. And we help protect the dreams that drive you. Personalize what you pay for auto insurance and you could save between 10 and 35%. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products, pricing, and availability vary based on the way you purchase insurance and by state. Unsafe driving behaviors may increase your rate. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
All you have is one chance after an accident, one decision on who to call, one shot to get the help you need. Don't waste it on the one offer you get from your insurance company. Make the one call to Gruber Law Offices. It's the only one you'll need to make. Call us today. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
This is The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Zach just got back from Texas. He got me some gifts. Let me see. Oh, look at that there. Let me see. Oh, a copper mug. Look at that, everybody. Look at that Tito's handmade vodka copper mug. If you see me sipping out of this, it ain't gonna be coffee in it. Thank you, Zach. Appreciate it. And then this a fanny pack, a man purse. Is that what this is? Where you weren't supposed to say you got it for free. You're supposed to say it was very expensive, Sherwin. Where? You say you spun a wheel for it. And I wear this around my fanny. I need a lot of slack. You know what I'm saying? I'm thick.
Like the 90s.
I didn't wear these damn things in the 90s.
Oh, you didn't?
Hell no.
You kind of, I could see you wearing that with a pair of Birkenstocks.
Yuck. I'm not white. Let me turn my music down. Let me talk to Lisa. Lisa, you're on 1017 The Truth. How are you?
I'm good, Sherwin. How are you?
I'm all right. What's on your mind?
Well, I feel real bad for these Milwaukee kids. I had thought about it, and I'm like, if I can get 20 kids in school, but from 3-point to 4-point, and the ones that's like under 1.0, put them together. Each one sit together on the plane or wherever we're going to fly to get to know each other and show them around. Show them what black excellence is. Take them to different states where they see the future. They see what's going on there. And they can grasp, like, hey, I'm wasting my time. I want to do that. Man, that's amazing. I want to do that. If they can see things, because right now these kids like not into basketball or none of that. They're really not. They're barely into video games. If we could take them to see the United States, and if we can even go international, if we can raise funds to do that, take 20 kids at a time, once or twice a year, then things will change for our kids. Because they open their door every day and see the same thing, depression. If they can go on a trip for a week and leave their hotel and see something different, or get on the bus and they see self-driving cars or robots, oh my God. See, look, I already saw the future. I call him Rob. I already had my
Lisa, why do you think that these young people don't see all of those things? Why do you think that they don't see self-driving cars and all the other things you think that is hidden from this is not the 70s and the 80s where those things you actually had to go physically see those things. A lot of these kids know what's out there, and they have no way to obtain it. You can show, like, if you took the worst of the worst, right? First of all, they would be unruly, they'd be disrespectful, they'd probably get kicked off the plane. You're going to have to deal with that because their discipline problems won't go away because you or somebody like you agrees to take them on a trip. I don't know why we think that. That if we do something really nice for them, we take them on a trip, that they're going to be nice. Lisa, they will cuss you out and they will probably rob you too, because I don't think you have an appreciation for how awful some of these young people actually are. But if you show them all of these things, and on the surface, it sounds like a beautiful idea, but a lot of those kids will internalize this as, I will never have or achieve any of this. And you are showing them a world and a reality that they cannot obtain. That's going to make them even more angry. Now, there are kids who are aspirational, who are doing very well in school, who are going to go to college. Showing those young people that probably might pay more dividends than if you took the worst of the worst. Because the good kids already have everything that they need. They're going on field trips. They're going on tours to different colleges. They are traveling. They're seeing all those things because they have earned the right and the ability to do that kind of travel. The worst of the worst are a liability and they are dangerous, and we have to look at it as that. We think kids are just like, oh, they're just like little puppies that need to be trained.
I did not say that. I did not say that. I understand that, but somebody gotta love them. Somebody gotta believe in them. Somebody gotta show them how to act, how to behave. Because if they're not receiving it at home, somebody gotta do it. Sherwin.
Lisa, if they're not listening let me just give you this example because I don't want people to think that it's just that easy. If they're not listening to their mamas, their grandmothers, their aunties, their older brothers and sisters, why are they listening to you? They don't know you. Who are you?
Okay, they don't know me, but I tell them, I say, I will leave you where you at. You figure it out, player. You got it all.
So now you're going to take some woman's kids and then leave them where they're at and tell them to figure it out. To see, this is why that plan wouldn't work.
Hey, well,
why would a parent release on its surface? Why would a parent that doesn't know you and you're not certified to do any of this stuff? Why would a parent release their child to you? How could you convince a mama, like, hey, lady that I don't know, give me your kids. I'm going to take them out of town for a week. What?
Ma'am, I'm going to take your child on a trip so they can see different things, so they can see life instead of opening their door every day and seeing nothing but
but who are you, though? Like, how are you qualified to deal with these kids? Like, what experience do you have?
I'm not qualified.
Oh, okay.
I'm not, ma'am, but you know what? I raise kids, so that makes me qualified. You don't have to have no paper to be qualified. I don't know what's wrong with you people. I don't have to have a paper to be qualified.
Potentially.
You ain't got to have a paper to be qualified to be a parent. So why do you have to be qualified to assist with it? If, ma'am, you sign that piece of paper, I am responsible for your kid.
All right,
that
good
means
luck.
whatever happens, I'm going to fight for your kid. Ma'am, I am responsible for your child, just so you know that. So, I'm going to take
What age of child are you looking at taking on your fantasy trip?
Ma'am, you can go with us. Parents, you can come with us. You need to see something, too, other than Milwaukee. Some people ain't never been out of Milwaukee. That's sad. No passports, no nothing. Ma'am, come on. Parents, you can come. Please, I stress that you do come. Anywhere from 15 to 18, I would take. 15 to 18. These kids, if a kid, my 4-year-old grandniece, if she can get on a phone and operate a phone or an iPad at 4 years old, oh, my goodness.
What age of young people are you talking about kidnapping? I'm sorry, taking on a trip out of the country or wherever you're going?
14 to 15.
Oh, God.
14 to 15.
Okay.
14 to 15. If you fit a kid that's, as you call bad, to a kid that's smart, guess what? They probably have the same lifestyle. They probably, the smart kid probably don't have a good home. What makes you think every smart kid have a good home? What makes you think his parents are training him? He might want to he probably said, hey, I'm going to do this on my own. I don't want this life. I want to get out of this life. You never know what two people have alike.
All right.
I
wish, Lisa, listen, I got another call I got to grab, but I do wish you the best. But here's what I would say. Any parent that releases their child to someone they don't know, that's not trained, that's not qualified, that's not an educator, that doesn't know how to deal with children with discipline problems and behavior problems and ADHD problems, that parent would be a fool. Now, we know some parents don't care, but even the parents that we think don't care ain't releasing their child to someone they don't know. If that's the case, then more parents would sign their children up to be mentored. And mentoring, I don't know if y'all know this. I'm about to share something with you. It's gigantic business. Not only is it gigantic business, I'm about to share something that's going to get me in trouble with some of these people that run these mentoring agencies. They already don't like me. It's a racket. County government and other funding agencies have found that investing in mentorship agencies and programs does pay dividends, because when young people have a guiding light and someone that they can spend time. In fact, Dame Elsie, who's on Truth in the Mornings with Homer, he's in a mentor program. I don't know which one, and I don't know which one he's in. I'm not calling out his mentoring program, but I'm familiar with several. And the county will have a contract where they will pay the agency between $90 and $120 per hour per mentor. I need you to think of the math now. If you have a company, an agency, an organization, and you want qualified, vetted, background checked people that have education and experience in working with young people and mentoring young, or whatever it is you're looking for, right? You have your people. The county will pay you between $90 and $120 per hour. So if you have 10 mentors, you as an agency are getting paid between $900 and $1,200 an hour. And some of these mentors might be spending 10 hours a week, 15 hours a week. Now imagine if you have 100 mentors. Now think of the math now. So what the agency does is the agency is collecting between, and they got to do all the paperwork and they got to vet the people and hire all the mentors. They got some legwork that they have to do, some administrative stuff as well, but they're getting $90 to $120 an hour to administer the mentoring program. Here's what they do. They pay the mentors $15 an hour. $15 an hour. So the agency is keeping between $75 and $105 per hour. And guess who has these nonprofit contracts? White women from the suburbs. Because they got in on the racket. Oh, it's just such a... But no, mentoring is big money. Because it has been found that young people that have mentors, and there's a lot of mentoring organizations. There's tons of them. Some are good, some are bad, some we don't know about. There's tons of them, though. So it would be more likely that a parent that wants to help steer their teenager or their child in the right direction would allow their child to be mentored by an agency or an organization that has already vetted the people than by just a random person calling in a talk radio saying, give me 20 of your kids so I can take them overseas. We can't do that. Too many kids are sexually assaulted. A couple things that these young people have in common, especially the ones that are the most unruly, child abuse, child neglect, and sexual abuse, and they won't be able to read. So neglect, abuse, sexual abuse, and low levels of literacy, these kids are vulnerable. And they oftentimes don't even have the language to express how abused and how vulnerable they are, so they act out. And they got real short tempers, and they'll kill anybody because the people that were supposed to take care of them were the first ones that violated their trust. And when you put people like that out into the world, that is what makes a killer. And we can have all the grant money you want. We can have all the organizations, all the nonprofits you want. When the people that are supposed to be the caregivers of a child hurt, harm, abuse, and sexually assault that child, then the rest of us mean nothing to that child. Now, while you think about that, I'm going to take a break, come back. We'll talk to Shane on the other side. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Our children deserve a real chance to make it in life, and a good education is a passport to opportunity. At City Ford Collective, we're working to make sure there's a great Milwaukee school for every Milwaukee family, because more good options lead to better outcomes. And who doesn't want that? Together, we can give every child the foundation they need to thrive, and a stronger future for kids means a stronger future for Milwaukee. To learn more about our mission, visit us at cityfordcollective.org. That's cityfordcollective.org.
Tacos and Tequila Festival, Saturday, May 30th at Franklin Field, featuring live performances by Shaggy, Rick Ross, Genuine, Soulja Boy, Frankie J, Mims, and more. There will be craft margaritas, Milwaukee's best taco vendors, authentic lucha libre wrestling, an exotic car showcase, a Chihuahua beauty patch, art installations, and so much more. Tacos and Tequila Festival, Saturday, May 30th. Get your tickets at tacoandtequilafestival.com.
Breaking down the issues that shape our city and our future.
The worst kind of whites, not that I'm picking on white folks, but then you know how it goes, is the ones that think that they will lose something if this country becomes more fair and equal. I'm going to say that again. The worst kind of white people are the ones that think that if a black person gets a job and gets an opportunity, and they ignore how hard the black person had to work, and the racism, the bigotry, and the discrimination, and just how people turn their noses up at smart black people. They hate us. And the black person works really hard and overcomes maybe generational curses of poor health and poverty and all of those things. And we got to deal with the police and the criminal justice system that doesn't often have our backs. And then the black person gets a job, gets an opportunity, and a white person sees that and thinks that they lost. Those are the worst kind.
It's The Truth with Sherwin Hughes, weekdays from 9 to noon. Catch it live on YouTube or tune in to 1017 The Truth.
Dad's gonna be far side, good.
What should I do with my dress?
Do little wiggles. The slate's coming in. What does it feel like when you're down or having a bad day?
It feels sad, like you just don't want to do anything.
All my little emotions in my head is just running crazy. I don't know what to do.
As a teacher or coach, do you ever feel overwhelmed supporting kids' mental health?
I had never experienced players being so down that they can't even participate.
He's just in tears in the huddle. I didn't know what to do.
Teachers need tons of help.
Kids Mental Health Foundation offers educational materials to help guide conversations with our students.
It's so important that we are constantly educating ourselves.
It's the same as the CPR class to me. We're trying to save a life here.
The Kids Mental Health Foundation has free tools and information developed by experts, because kids' mental health starts with all of us. Scan the QR code or check out kidsmentalhealthfoundation.org to get started.
This is The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
I got my fanny pack on. I like it. I'm gonna keep my pistol in this mother. You know what I mean?
Your CCW?
Don't worry about what I got, dog. Why you trying to put me out there? Hold on, man. Let me relax, everybody. Asking me about if I got a little CCW car. I used to. It's expired. Don't worry.
$63.
Nah, you got to take that class, though. I ain't got time. That class is stupid. It's a waste of time.
Got to protect yourself.
Don't worry about that.
Yeah, you got stalkers, people coming up to the window,
listen
people
to me.
following you to your car, people know what kind of car you drive.
Man, look.
People know where you live. I'd be packed.
Yeah, I have to be ready to shoot somebody. I think people think that just psychologically having a firearm on you makes you feel somewhat secure. It's a false sense of security. But you have to shoot a person. That's the hard part. And if you misjudge or miscalculate, here's the thing. Even if you shoot somebody in self-defense, you're still going to get arrested. You are still going to they're going to have you for 72 hours. You're going to get cuffed and stuffed. You're going to get booked. It's going to be you're going to spend, even people that beat their cases, they're going to charge you with homicide because it's a homicide because you killed a person. It's still going to cost you $20,000 on your reputation. And that's what once you pull that trigger, you better be right. And here's the thing, you better not miss. You mess around and have bad aim, or you're nervous and have some adrenaline going, and you shoot a 4-year-old by accident, you're going to prison for the rest of your life, but you had a gun. That being said, I'm going to keep my pistol in my fanny pack. Let's talk to Shane. You're on 1017 The Truth. How are you?
Good morning. Thank you for taking the call. I got to start off by saying, man, I don't have any solutions. I don't.
All right.
Because I raised my kids. You know, I worked my butt off. I got them. I didn't believe in MPS. So I took them to a private school. They graduated, did well, went to college. Well, one went to college and the other was in a trade. But, you know, back in the 90s, they always talked about that generation, a generation of kids, like babies having babies. Well, they didn't know what they were doing. And now those babies didn't have babies. And so now we're stuck with the cleanup from it. You know, a lot of people didn't know how to raise children because they weren't raised right. So the cycle continues on, and that's where we're at today. You know, I taught for a little while. I ran the streets in a private ambulance. I was a street trainer and just the EMT before I got on the fire department. I did that for 16 years. And I also taught. I taught health at a school called Zech Institute. I created a program. I called it preventative health care. Started off with the kids understanding what the little crosses meant on ambulance and how it related to Egypt and Imhotep all the way up to Socrates. I then taught them how to brush their teeth and how to have a balanced diet. And then I went on to like emergency situations, like what is an emergency? And, you know, these kids are so bad, man, I couldn't even take them nowhere. I had them booked up to go to, like, different places. I wanted to take them down to the water complex where they treat the water, to Jones Island and stuff. Yeah. I wanted to take them over to the operations of an ambulance company to see everything behind it.
How old were the kids?
So bad.
How old were they?
Oh, this is high school.
Oh,
so I was teaching, like, freshmen all the way up to seniors.
And what was the name of the school?
They were just too bad. It was called Zech Institute. It was like
one of them charters, one of them choice schools.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it still in operation?
No, it's not. The state stole a lot of money. Said that we weren't keeping up on their paperwork, but we were working hand in hand with them. But then, you know, you got to understand, it's an institution where we were taking money out of the state schools, so they didn't want that. So they were bound to have us fail. You know, it didn't work well for them to have another school that competed against. So, you know, that was a failed thing. But, you know, we tried our hardest. You know, all the teachers were qualified. Myself being an EMT instructor on the streets, I can't think of anyone else better to be able to teach someone health. You know, I coached football for a little while. I had a couple of kids that did really well in college.
Do you think it's because of the babies having babies and because the people that became parents, because they weren't raised, they didn't know how to raise their kids, and that's what we're dealing with? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Yeah. You know, it's an endless cycle, man. If you don't know from jump, how are you going to teach somebody?
Fair enough. And if the parents don't discipline them, then society will. Thank you, Shane. We appreciate your call.
All right. Thank you. Have a good day.
You too. Shane said, I tried everything. We may not be able to have influence on parents, but we can protect certain parts of the city to exorbitant cost to us taxpayers. But we can protect business, travel, tourism, and entertainment districts from gun violence because we know that there are places in society where you simply cannot get a gun. We know what the safeguards are. We know how you can put up metal detectors and increase security and do a whole bunch of things. You even make it more expensive because people that want to do nonsense oftentimes are not going to pay cash out of their pocket to just mill about in an area. You have to put a cost on it. So you can't say no blacks allowed because we'd get angry at that. But at this point, let me say something I shouldn't. Nah, I probably shouldn't say it. No.
What do you want to say?
If you don't want a particular clientele in your business, you should be able to say so. If you don't want, listen, you're the business owner. If you, hear me out. want to turn down money, you should be able to turn down money. You should not, because you own a private business. In a lot of respects, a business operates like your home. You have a lot of the same legal protections and safeguards. Now, there's when it comes to hiring and human resources, there's some nuance there. But a business is a private agency, a private entity. You don't let anybody into your house, do you? And you don't have to. I could put a sign up on my door of my house and say no whites and no Mexicans. It would be distasteful, but it's not illegal. And a white person or a Mexican, or let's say a white and a Mexican, came and knocked on my door. Hey, is Sherwin home? It should have went home. I said, your kind can't come in here. Then they just got to leave. If a business does not want, and they do it with dress codes, and we always call it racist, but if you don't want a certain, and I'm not even limiting it to race, you may not want anybody under 16. You'll have gas stations that say no more than 2 students allowed, right? And some would say, oh, that's not fair, that's discriminatory. Them little kids steal. I mean, adults steal too. Kids might steal more. I think if you don't want, and I stand on that, that's your freedom of speech, but then we get all sensitive about it. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're an African-American black person, I'm seeing a lot of videos on my TikTok feed about black people going to Longhorn steakhouses. I'm real curious. Have you guys seen something? My algorithm is weird. My algorithm makes no sense to me. But I guess black people have found a liking to Longhorn steakhouses, and I guess we have one here in Milwaukee near Southridge. I've never even really heard of it before until I saw these videos on TikTok about Longhorn steakhouses that are all over the country, and black people are going there and cutting up. And Ruth's Chris, that's another one. So Ruth's Chris is same parent company as Capitol Grill. Because I wonder, why don't we have a Ruth's Chris in Milwaukee? Because we got the Capitol Grill, same company, just different branding. And you have the employees of these restaurants that black people are going to and complaining and not liking the food and eating all the food and wanting the food free. It'll be a table of 10. They want 10 separate bills. And then somebody say, well, only charge me for my soda and my salad, then charge them for the meatballs and charge this person for the... We're just a mess sometimes. And the servers are also making TikTok videos on how horrible we are. And I'm thinking, if you don't want us in your restaurant, just say so. Because here's one thing I will never do. Be in a place in which I am not wanted, especially when I'm ordering food. Do you know what they do to our food? You don't know? You think that you keep messing with your server. Keep messing with them. They're going to get the last laugh on you. I promise, because I know, because I've seen it. Don't do it. Don't mess with some people like that. You think you can clown somebody and disrespect somebody that's bringing you your food? Oh,
that's crazy to me.
It is crazy, but you got to understand, you can be mean and nasty to somebody, and they're going to be mean and nasty back. Now, here's the thing. They're going to serve you that food with a smile on their face. They're going to sit there and watch you eat it.
Have you ever seen the movie Waiting?
No.
Don't.
I ain't seen the movie Waiting, but if it's about somebody doing something terrible to food, then I've seen that movie all the time before.
Yeah, it's basically about a movie about a restaurant that, they do bad things to people's food that are disrespectful to them.
My friend got fired from Rocky Rococo's for spitting in the pizza. He got caught. So think about how many times he did it before he got caught. And I told him, I was like, hey, man, I'm coming through at 3 o'clock, man. Make sure my pizza's spit free now. He's like, I got you, dog.
Hold on, he just spit in random people's food?
If it was somebody he didn't like. You know what else they used to do? At a McDonald's, because there was a co-op at a McDonald's. The Brown Deer McDonald's has been closed. They tore it down. It's on Green Bay Road. Well, a lot of high school seniors would leave 7th hour and 8th hour because then they would go and work at McDonald's as a part of their co-op. So they get credit for working at the McDonald's. When a cop came through the drive-thru, they would play hockey with the burger patty on the floor. And they put it in the queue machine, and yep. Now, this was 30 years ago, probably past the statute of limitations. Good luck finding those people. In fact, some of those people used to do that are grandparents now. But yeah, don't act a fool. And so I would rather you tell me, hey, Sherwin, we don't allow blacks in here. Cool, thank you for sharing. How hurt are my feelings going to get? Because they might be saving me a lot of headache. And Sherwin, we don't want you in here. Because some other blacks were in here and they didn't tip. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry to hear that. So yeah, you can't come in either. Cool, I'll go somewhere else. Because there's a whole bunch of places where blacks are allowed. And if you don't want me in there, and I know it's not fair, but why do you want to go to a place that doesn't like you? Why do you want to give your money and financially support an establishment that doesn't want your kind in there? I just wish they would just let me know, because I'd be like, oh, I'll just make an informed choice and I'll go somewhere else. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. We'll be right back.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. Milwaukee Black Talk.
You don't want to be there. You don't like the work. You don't like the people. Now, there are some differences. The only difference is modern American slavery and capitalism versus 19th century. We were dramatically more primitive back then. And a slave that is able to buy their freedom is the same as the disaffected, disgruntled worker that is able to buy their way into entrepreneurship, because that for them is freedom.
Listen to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes weekdays from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m.
Hi, this is Sherwin Hughes from 101.7 The Truth, and I want to talk to you about something bigger than just buying a house. I'm talking about building a legacy. Owning a home isn't just about four walls and a roof. It's about giving your kids a place where memories are made, where birthdays are celebrated, and where they always belong. It's about planting roots, knowing your neighbors, waving from the porch, and being a part of a community that feels like family. If you've been renting and wondering if home ownership is even possible, Axe Housing is here to work with you. An Axe Housing coach will help you create a plan, a budget, and move step by step toward owning a place you can truly call your own. They've already helped over 4,000 families become homeowners, and many are paying less than they were paying for rent. Don't let where you are today stop your families tomorrow. Start your journey at axehousing.org. That is ACTShousing.org. Your legacy begins at home.
Life's better with American Family Insurance, because we know you love working weekends. If it means working on your dream home, both inside and out. And we're here to help protect those dreams so you can enjoy peace of mind. Save up to 40% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products, pricing, and availability vary based on where you purchase insurance and by state. Some exclusions apply. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Redlining happened here. Some neighborhoods are still left behind. When decisions are made about our blocks, our homes, and our families, we deserve to be heard. The Milwaukee County Office of Equity and Empower invites you to help us tell the story of wealth by taking a short survey online. What do you need to build wealth for your family, business, or neighborhood? Take the survey and be entered in to win concert tickets, cash prizes, and more. Take the survey now through the end of March at mkestoryofwealth.com. That's mkestoryofwealth.com.
Sweet Talks Medical Spa in Menominee Falls. Skip the sterile clinical office feel. Sweet Talk stays on the cutting edge of beauty and wellness innovations in a vibrant, playful space promoting self-love and confidence. Sweet Talk specializes in a range of treatments including injectables, medical-grade skincare, weight loss, hormone therapies, and more. Not sure where to start? Sweet Talks offers comprehensive wellness consultations to create a customized plan centered around you. Because at Sweet Talks, your goals are their goals. Learn more at sweettalks.com.
This is The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
There are 47 Milwaukee County Circuit Court judges. So sometimes somebody will be arrested for a shooting, let's say a non-fatal shooting. I don't know, first offense, second offense, who knows? Maybe they're on probation, parole. I don't know some of the details. And then we come to find out the person bonded out for $500, or they get sentenced to either time served or probation or something. They get these really super light sentences. And then they go and they offend again. So one example I can think of is the man, he went to the Waukesha Christmas parade about 3, 4, 5 something years ago. He didn't go as a spectator. You remember that fella? He drove the vehicle. He was fleeing from the police and drove through the damn parade route and hit a bunch of people. It was terrible, very bad, very terrible, very not. And then he represented himself in court. Jeez, that was not smart. he's in prison for a long time. But he was out on bail or bond from a domestic violence incident. And then he went and killed, I think 6 people were killed. And you got to wonder, how do some of these people commit a crime? And of course, they've got a trial at some point. But there might be a pattern of behavior where we know they're a violent person and then we let them bail out or bond out or whatever. And they go and they commit another crime. Or they go commit a homicide. And the family will say, hey, had they been in jail, they wouldn't have been able to kill my uncle, my niece, my nephew, my cousin. They wouldn't have been able to shoot somebody on Water Street because they were just arrested on Tuesday. They were out on Thursday. They murdered somebody on Friday. And so when I looked at the circuit court judges, most of them don't even live in the city of Milwaukee. So when someone commits an offense, and you got a trial date at some point, but even if it is established that they are violent and the likelihood that they may offend again is very high, the judges might say, well, we don't want to appear racist. And, it might cost a whole bunch of money. We'll set their bond at, $19. Because it's racist if we keep somebody in jail even though they've committed a crime. We can't do that because it's racist. And the judges, 55% of them don't even live in the city of Milwaukee. So the majority of our circuit court judges, when an offender, a lot of times they're from the north side or the south side, when they are released back into the community, they're not being released into the community in where the judges live. I've always found some fascination with the majority of our judges living in wealthier suburbs outside of the city, but having a profound influence on who gets released, who gets sentenced, etc. And I think there might be a component of racism to that, because when we as black people find out that a whole bunch of black folks have gone to jail and we have got a mass incarceration epidemic, then we get really, really mad and we call the whole system racist. And the judge is like, you're not going to call me racist. I'll release them right away. So you can't say I'm holding them in jail. Nope, go ahead, go back to the community. And they offend again and they kill other black people. They don't kill people in the communities in which the judges live. They kill people in the communities in which they live, in which we live. A judge might very well know that this person has all of the signs of being a repeat offender, but sets their bond really, really low, lets them out, and they offend again, but not in the judge's community, in ours. I'll talk more about that on the other side. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be back for hour 3.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. Need a way to hype up your day?
Hello, is this Shirley?
This is she.
Shirley, you are our Gruber 5K giveaway winner this quarter. Congratulations.
What would you do with $5,000?
Going to look at buying me a pickup truck. That will be some of my down payment.
Stay tuned into 1017 The Truth for your chance to be entered into the Gruber Law Office's 5K giveaway. For contest rules, visit 1017thetruth.com.
I love you guys.
I got money now.
Truth Nation, it's your boy Tory Lowe, and I need to let you know the award-winning Tory Lowe Show can now be streamed live on YouTube. How? Every day from 1 to 4. Truth Nation, I am now bringing all the smoke on YouTube every single weekday. Hey, how? I need you to go to YouTube right now and subscribe to 1017 The Truth and check out the award-winning Tory Lowe Show live every afternoon. Milwaukee Black Talk is now streaming live on YouTube. Now that's powerful.
Teachers are dynamic leaders, shaping a new generation. They bring a variety of perspectives from diverse backgrounds, innovating how they teach to prepare students for our fast-changing world. Achieving this takes skill and expertise. They're tireless explorers, creatively discovering a universe of solutions, telling stories, experimenting, inspiring, mentoring, connecting cultures, and connecting with each other. Leading by example. Experience the unique joy of helping students thrive. Teaching is a journey that shapes lives. Are you ready to begin? Explore teaching at teach.org. a campaign supported by the U.S. Department of Education, Teach.org, and 1 million teachers of color.
We asked parents who adopted teens to share their journey.
There are many times I thought, I can't do this. I mean, what parent isn't worried about? What am I not doing right? What am I not doing enough? And then I realized, wait, that's being a parent.
Don't worry about being perfect. I've had around 3 other mother figures in my life, but only one of them has taught me how a mother loves.
The greatest reward for me is he makes me better every day.
I would tell a family considering adopting a teenager that teenager, whoever it is, needs you, and they need what you have to offer.
Taylor's given me hope. He's our son, and that is what he will always be.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to learn more. A message brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Listen to the home of the 5K Gruber Cash Giveaway. 1017 FM, 1510 AM, WGKB Waukesha, and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station. More of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Welcome to Hour 3 of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. I want to address a YouTube comment, but I also want to give you some detail on where our judges live, the judges that interpret state law and determine sentencing for crimes committed against our community. The judges that live in Milwaukee, surprise, surprise, are former public defenders or like community activists. Like, they're liberals for the most part. Those are the ones that live in the city, and they have a background of like community work, democratic political work, public defense, defending indigent people. Those are the judges that live in the city. The judges that live in the suburbs have got a history of either working for private law firms or they were prosecutors. Surprise, surprise. Judges living in the city of Milwaukee: Carl Ashley, Corey Ashley, Marissa Bell Cabrera, Milton Childs, Jack Davila, Nidhia Kashyap, Ronnie Murray, Gene Keys, Glenn Yamahito, Brittany Grayson. Judges living in Milwaukee County suburbs: 27 judges: Borowski, Kegel, Kiefer, Hanrahan, Pocan, Crivello, Grundvinson, Sosnay, Remington. City of Milwaukee: 21 judges, 45%, 26 judges live in the suburbs. So they know that when they release offenders from our community, when they release them, they're not releasing them to Shorewood, South Milwaukee, or Cudahy. After Wisconsin eliminated residency requirements, judges increasingly moved to the suburbs. Imagine seeing defendants that live in one city and you live in a totally different city, so when you release them, you don't have to see them. The trend mirrors broader professional class migration patterns. Judges living in the city are concentrated in lakefront central neighborhoods, underrepresented in the north side and lower income zip codes. So we don't have judges. The majority of the judges on the circuit court don't live in some of the most crime-challenged neighborhoods. And why would they? They make $140,000 a year. One of the things about having money and making money is you can pay the tax or the cover charge to live somewhere safe and to do things that are more expensive, to where those bad actors can't afford. There was a comment, though, that I wanted to read. Okay. Sincere Ronnie Reel said via YouTube, "So you're okay with us being discriminate as a people and race when it comes to an establishment or business?" Yes. This is the Sherwin thing. You're not going to agree with this. But if a business says, and look me in my face and say, I don't want you in here, what, I'm going to fight them? But I want to come in. Sherwin, we don't want you here. Even though, listen, I didn't do nothing. They don't know me at all. Well, then maybe they do know me. Sherwin, I don't like your talk show. I don't like what you discuss. I don't like your vulgar language, and I sure don't like when that Al calls. Can I just tell you, every single place I go to, someone asks me about Al. My uncle had his 81st birthday party at People's Lounge on Saturday night. And, of course, people know when I walk into the building, oh, Sherwin Hughes from The Truth is here. Sherwin, what is up with that Al? Like, I'm not in Al's pocket, but Al is very popular. But somebody might say to me, Sherwin, I don't want you here. I'm the owner of this establishment, and I don't want you here. What, am I going to fight him? You better let me in. No, I'm like, okay. What, am I arguing with them? Don't you want to know? Because I don't want to go where I'm not wanted and where my service or the quality of what I'm paying for might suffer because they don't want me. But that's, some of y'all will have, like, your significant other, who you think is your significant other, will tell you they don't love you no more. Why? Please. No, if they're telling you they don't want to be with you, what are you going to do about that? Nothing. It hurts. But you are better off heeding that warning or heeding what they're telling you than still trying to fight for it. Sherwin, I don't love you no more. I don't want to be with you no more. All right, cool. It's unfortunate, but what am I going to do? Try and convince you? If somebody is telling you that they don't want you, go where you are wanted. It really is that simple. You ain't got to overthink it, but here's what we'll do. There'll be an establishment that let's say they've been robbed by 14 black people. Black people have broken into the business, stolen cars, stolen cash, robbed employees at gunpoint. And they're like, you know what? We can't tell the good blacks from the bad blacks. We don't want none of y'all in here. Here's what we would do as black people. We would protest the business. We would protest to beg the business for us to be allowed in to spend money that we don't have in an establishment that made it clear that they don't want us there. Now, I know you're not supposed to do that. It's illegal. But do you realize that we live in a parallel universe? This world is not normal. Rules and laws don't apply anymore. Pedophiles occupy some of the most significant positions, not just in American government, but in the world. The Constitution means nothing. We're at a war that was entirely unprovoked that we're going to lose. The old rules don't matter anymore. Racism has become an organizing political tool that has helped a man get elected 2 out of 3 attempts. The world is very different. And I think black folks are convinced that, oh, everybody likes us and people are nice to us and the world has gotten better and we had 2 terms of Barack Obama. Even though we know all of those things, we know that racism still exists, but we're okay if white folks hide it. Don't hide it to me. Show me. Show me who you are. Don't lie to me. Because that's where we get fooled. These white folks will laugh in our faces, smile in our faces, look, accept invites to the barbecue. I've always thought that was a scam. They're coming to the barbecue. We need to stop inviting them to the barbecue. From this point forward, it's a moratorium on white folks coming to the cookout until we vet you. Because I think they're coming to spy. They don't invite you to their cookouts. They don't. Hell no. Oh, we love giving them invitations out. Let us see a white girl that can dance. She coming to the cookout. All she's going to do is have sex with a black man and have a baby daddy. That was racist.
Does that really happen? Do people really invite them to the cookout, yes. Or is that just a figure of speech?
They try to invite white folks because we like when they like us. Because we know that we've been hated throughout history, and if we can find a white person that culturally appropriates us in a way that we find entertaining and amusing, then we want to be around them. Those sometimes be the most racist white people. Y'all gotta understand that some of these white women with mixed babies are as racist as anybody. It's just different because they got a mixed baby, but they hate every other black person. Won't even let that child be around their black family because she's so racist. But she likes black wee-wee, but hates black people. Oh, we learned that during George Floyd. All them white women, they wasn't going out there protesting. Well, maybe George Floyd, he should have listened to the police. With 5 mixed kids and she don't even know how to do their hair. Oh, that's the worst. Let's talk to Kathy, shall we? Kathy, you're on 101.7 The Truth. How are you? How was your weekend?
It was good, thank you. How was yours?
It was all right. What's on your mind, Kathy?
Well, it's a little dated now because I know you've moved on to other things, but I was thinking about the bail comments that you had, and I always try and keep in mind that I know maybe someone is a danger to society, but they haven't been tried yet. They're not guilty. The purpose of bail, I think, is to make sure that somebody shows up for their appearance, and not to have somebody stay in jail because we think they're a danger. So that was just my only comment.
Are you a judge, Kathy? Judge Kathy?
No, I'm not. Nope, I am not.
What do you do for a living, Kathy? I'm curious.
I used to do human resources. I'm retired now.
Okay. Where do you live, Kathy? You live in Milwaukee or a surrounding area?
Surrounding area.
All right. Thank you for that demographic profile information, Kathy.
Okay.
All right, then. Kathy, bye-bye. What? I had to ask her a couple questions. I wanted to see. She didn't say what surrounding. She didn't say what surrounding area. He's like, let the blacks go free. And Kathy, I'm not trying to say that that's what your attitude is. And I guess I see and understand the point and the purpose, but I also know that it's a mismatch where the majority of the judges live based upon where the majority of the defendants live. And when a judge is like, oh, $7 bail, you're never mind. We'll release you on, I don't know, your own recognizance. Go ahead. And they go shoot somebody on Water Street. Then we're like, hey, this person had a court date for a triple homicide and they were out drinking green beer on the St. Patrick's Day. What is this here? The Milwaukee County bench is not city-dominated. A clear but not overwhelming suburban majority of 55% of currently defines where the judges live. A full 47, I don't need every single judge's address. All right, what else we got here? Oh, there was something else I wanted to share with y'all. Yep, here we go. So you get shot in the face. That's not nice. The shoulder. Somebody calls 911. You want the person to come and help you. Hi, 911? Yep. What's your emergency? Got shot in the shoulder. Help. All right, where you at? 301 West Wisconsin Avenue. It's in the studio. All right, we're going to send somebody on right now. Stay on the phone with me until they arrive. I can't because I'm on the air. All right, well, they should be arriving shortly. Do you know who shot you? Yeah, I don't know. All right. And then they get here. It's a strapping white guy. So when I had my medical incident in August, so I passed out. And I woke up. And it was like 5 of them. They were taking my shirt off and trying to put an IV in me. And I looked up and I saw they were very handsome. 5 very well-built, very muscular. I see why women like firefighters. They're very handsome fellas. Stay with me, buddy. You okay? Sherwin, can you hear me? I'm like, I woke up and I was like, because I didn't know what was going on. I had no idea what happened. I was in and out of consciousness, right? So I look up and I see all these muscular white guys. I was like, damn. I died and went to gay heaven. I'm in the wrong. I'm in the wrong heaven. Oh, man, I didn't account for this. Guess I shouldn't have told all those gay jokes. And then I kind of came to when I realized that they were all EMTs. But they weren't black. They were very nice guys. They drove me to the hospital. Right, and they dropped me off, whatever. They didn't just leave me on the corner somewhere. They very expensive Uber ride, but they got me to the hospital. But what if they were racist? You ever think about that? We think that when people occupy certain professions and vocations, we think they actually care about all people. And to some extent, maybe they care about humanity. But, and I hate to have to admit this, but ladies and gentlemen, if you're a black African-American person and you know the racial bias that we receive in the healthcare system, and if you're a black African-American healthcare provider, you're a nurse or they don't call them CNAs anymore, the certified medical technicians or whatever they call them, and you see a black person, don't you want to pay extra special attention? I know that when I have been hospitalized, which has been a couple of times in my 5 decades on Earth. Black healthcare providers are always more sensitive and more attentive. Black nurses are always, I don't know what it is, and maybe I do know what it is, but I think black nurses know how racist white nurses are. But the worst nurse I ever had was actually a Latina. She was awful. I think she didn't care if I lived or died. She was a night nurse. Night nurses are different because they don't want to do much, it seems like. You know what I mean? You got to be careful in the healthcare system. We know that there are racial biases everywhere in society, but we think when we get in the healthcare system, where we as black people have the worst outcomes, some of that is us. We're not healthy. We don't take care of ourselves. We got a lot of diabetes, and we got a lot of kidney disease, and we got a lot of all the other things. But sometimes as healthcare providers, like, screw them. Let them suffer. Most recent available data from the 2021 through 2024 reporting range. In Milwaukee, fire departments, which provide the majority of 911 emergency medical responses in the city, EMTs and paramedics are largely drawn from firefighter ranks. They are 72.1% white, 15.5% black, 9.9% Hispanic or Latino, and 2.6% other. 72% of the EMTs in the city of... So when you get shot, it's going to be a strapping white fella. Hey, how are you? What's the emergency here? Who, this guy right here laying on the ground bleeding out? Okay, what happened? He got shot? All right, let's get a pulse on him. Nah, he's dead. Pulse is like 72. Nope, he's gone. Yeah, it's nothing we can do. I'm like, hey, I'm still alive. Shut up. No, you're not. You're dead. Cover him up. Laying under the blanket, still fully, like, kicking the blanket off. Stop it. I said you're dead. Don't say anything else. Hell no. The city of Milwaukee's... By comparison, the Milwaukee population is 38% black, but 72% of the EMTs are white. 32% white population in the city of Milwaukee, 21% Latino, Hispanic, 5% Asian. EMT workforce is 72% white versus a white population of 32%. EMS workforce, 15% black versus 38% black population. Across the city of Milwaukee, employees not EMS specific, 51% 51 to 58% white, 28 to 36% black. So we are underrepresented across the board. Even the overall workforce is more diverse than fire and EMS, indicating EMS is less representative than municipal employment overall. So where you have racial and demographic mismatches, that is usually a place where we should highlight where there's some disparity. And I'm not saying that all the EMTs are racist, but I bet you they get fatigued too. Imagine you're doing EMT duty on a Saturday night in July in the city of Milwaukee and you responded to your 5th shooting and they're all black people. And you're like, what is it with these freaking people? You know, I'm tired of this. And you get to your 5th shooting and you're just like, well, I need to take a break. Could you imagine the EMT responding to a shooting? And he's like, it's my break time. And he's sitting there eating a sandwich. There's somebody bleeding and everything. I'm going to eat my cousin's sub, and I'll get back with you in a minute. You ever go to the post office and someone would be sitting at the window and they're like, I'm on break. And you clearly see them there sitting at the window. EMT like, no. I need to eat my bagel. It's my 5th shooting of the night. That's got to be fatiguing. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. We'll be right back.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 101.7thetruth.com.
In 1987, the Bucks took on the world and changed basketball forever.
At stake, basketball supremacy in the United States.
Bucks versus the World, narrated by Charlie Behrens, is the new season of Behind the Bucks podcast, presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. It's the untold story of the 1987 McDonald's Open, when the Bucks became the first NBA team to face the Soviet Union. Listen now on Bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and wherever you get podcasts.
Hi, this is Sherwin Hughes from 1017 The Truth, and I want to talk to you about something bigger than just buying a house. I'm talking about building a legacy. Owning a home isn't just about four walls and a roof. It's about giving your kids a place where memories are made, where birthdays are celebrated, and where they always belong. It's about planting roots, knowing your neighbors, waving from the porch, and being a part of a community that feels like family. If you've been renting and wondering if home ownership is even possible, Axe Housing is here to work with you. An Axe Housing coach will help you create a plan, a budget, and move step by step toward owning a place you can truly call your own. They've already helped over 4,000 families become homeowners, and many are paying less than they were paying for rent. Don't let where you are today stop your families tomorrow. Start your journey at axehousing.org. That is ACTShousing.org. Your legacy begins at home.
The legendary Broadway show is back. The Wiz. The Chicago Sun-Times raves. It's an eye-popping, high-intensity revival. The music, the voices, the legend returns. Entertainment Weekly says, run, don't ease on down to this spectacular revival. The Wiz. Playing the Marcus Center, March 24th through 29th. Tickets at marcuscenter.org.
Every child deserves a school that sees their brilliance. At Milwaukee College Prep, they believe in high expectations, strong character, and academic excellence starting as early as age of 3. MCP scholars continue to outperform their peers across Milwaukee. And the best part about it all, Milwaukee College Prep is tuition free. If you're looking for a school that partners with you, challenges your child, and prepares them for college and beyond, Milwaukee College Prep is the place. Visit MilwaukeeCollegePrep.com to learn more. That's MilwaukeeCollegePrep.com.
Life's better with Drive My Way from American Family Insurance because we know it's more than just a car. It's your escape pod, your adventure mobile, your memory maker. And we help protect the dreams that drive you. Personalize what you pay for auto insurance and you could save between 10 and 35%. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products, pricing, and availability vary based on the way you purchase insurance and by state. Unsafe driving behaviors may increase your rate. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
More of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
B. Bruce wants to know whatever happened to the two black EMT dudes from the 90s who used to always be videoed loading up black victims in the hood. They're probably retired. I got another one for you. This is so ridiculous. What is the world coming to? I swear, is this real life? I swear the world has become a movie. And we're all starring in this horror film. Where's my story at? Here it is. You ready for this? So it's not all of them, but in situations like this, it's always them. I spent a lot of time chastising bad black behavior because I love black people and I'm supposed to. I think it's the people that excuse it or make up excuses for it don't really love black people. They don't care about us really. Oh, it's fine. Leave them alone, Sherwin. No, I want solutions. The Water Street problem, the entertainment district problem, is one that has fixes. Now, it's expensive now. We spent $75 million on reckless driving. Now we got to spend that same $75 million making our entertainment district safe because we got to protect areas that bring revenue into the city. Because our federal resources are likely going to dry up because of this administration, and anything that comes to Milwaukee as far as grants, especially when it comes to fighting crime or job training and placement for communities of color, are all going to dry up because Trump will consider that DEI. So we have to go the extra mile and invest in protecting our entertainment district because there's a lot of employment, there's a lot of money that's made, there's a lot of money that's spent, there's a lot of taxes, a lot of revenue that's collected. And once people start internalizing that certain areas of the city where there is entertainment and bars and restaurants and lounges are unsafe and they stop going, we're going to be in even worse financial dire straits than we are in right now. But let me get to this story right here, because it's not always us all the time. Sometimes it's them. From West Bend, Wisconsin. So you already know where I'm going with this one. Washington County deputies uncovered a drug operation involving marijuana, mushrooms, and illegal firearms at Camp Silverbrook, a Girl Scout camp in West Bend. Oh, it gets so much better. On March 15th, deputies responded to a domestic violence call, of course, at a house located on the campgrounds near University Drive and Decorah Road, and arrested 48-year-old Paul David. He lived there with his wife, a Girl Scouts employee, and their children, 8 and 16, according to court documents. I have so many questions. Why do people live on a Girl Scout campground? Does that, what, you live in a tent? I don't understand. Let me make sure I'm getting this right. I'm going to read it again. On the Ides of March, which is March 15th, deputies responded to a domestic violence call. Guarantee he was drinking Budweiser and was wearing a dirty tank top. A domestic violence call at a house located on the campgrounds near University Drive and Decorah Road, and arrested 48-year-old Paul David. He lived there with his wife, who is a Girl Scouts employee, and their children aged 8 and 16, according to court documents. During a sweep of the premises, investigators found processed marijuana in a closet just outside of the children's bedrooms and under a bed, along with multiple other spots around the home. In total, investigators said they found almost 700 grams of marijuana, which is enough for nearly 1,400 joints. They discovered 9 marijuana plants as part of a growing operation, and investigators said they found psychoactive mushrooms, quote, substantially more than for personal use. This all happened on a Girl Scout camp. They're selling more than cookies. Side note, I don't like Girl Scout cookies. They're not good. And they got, like, arsenic in them. I read an article last week or the week before, because everybody's hitting me up, Sherwin, you got to buy some Girl Scout cookies? No! Not at all. Stop asking.
No Thin Mints?
No. Well, no, I don't like a crunchy cookie. I need a soft cookie. I don't want no damn crunchy cookie. A crunchy cookie to me is a cracker. I like a soft cookie. Don't give me no crunchy cookie. Do I look like a crunchy cookie kind of person? I like a soft cookie. I don't give me no damn crunchy cookie. And look, I got my damn fanny pack on.
They couldn't see it.
Well, I don't need to see it. Got my fanny pack. You see me with the fanny pack on, you know, stay away from me. Uh-oh, Sherwin got that pack on. In total, investigators said they found almost 700 grams of marijuana, which is enough for nearly 1,400 joints. Do people still smoke joints? Okay. I thought they just... How do they smoke marijuana? I guess joints, blunts.
People smoke joints, blunts, bowls, bongs.
Yeah, there's so many other ways.
Vapes.
Gravity bong, that's wow. Out of apples?
Apples.
You have
pins.
You know a lot about that, huh? All right. They discovered 9 marijuana plants as part of a growing operation, and investigators said they found psychoactive mushrooms substantially more than for personal use. Remember, this was on a Girl Scout camp. A house that's on a Girl Scout camp, that should be extra illegal. Inside the home, deputies found 13 guns, some of which were loaded. The firearms were located at the foot of the bed, under the bed, on a nightstand, between 2 closets, and one even hanging on a shoulder bag in the hallway where the youngest juvenile could have assessed, the criminal complaint said. David, with previous felony convictions for OWI in Wisconsin and DUI in Illinois, is not allowed to own guns. Oh, he's screwed. A felon with a gun, 13 of them, and some were loaded, and child endangerment. and 1,400 joints worth of weed and psychoactive mushrooms, in which they said in the criminal complaint substantially more than for personal use. Oh, it gets even better. See, it's not all of them, but it's always them. A Girl Scout spokesperson said no scouts have been endangered or harmed at Camp Silverbrook. How do people live in a Girl Scout camp? It's not all of them, but it's always them. The organization declined an interview but stated nothing illegal was found during a routine inspection of the Girl Scout property in December, except for the house on the Girl Scout property where they found 13 guns, 1,400 joints worth of weed, and psychoactive mushrooms, which is substantially more than for personal use. The spokesperson said the organization did conduct a background check on the family, though they did not say when the background check happened or if David's status as a felon would have prohibited him from living on the campgrounds. The spokesperson did not disclose when David moved in or if they were aware of his felony status. Of course they were aware, but they don't care. David made bail and is no longer in custody. He should still be in the joint. You don't release somebody that lived on a Girl Scout campground and had all that weed, all them mushrooms, and all them guns. David made bail and is no longer in custody. A Girl Scout spokesperson confirmed he is not living at the camp anymore and is prohibited from being within 1,000 feet of the property. David's next court appearance is scheduled for May. The Girl Scouts of, this is so ridiculous. The Girl Scouts of Wisconsin Southeast informed families that the employee involved, quote, has been placed on leave and the outcome of our investigation will determine next steps. How do you live? That just sounds like, and there's an 8-year-old that lives in a house and a 16-year-old that lives in a house and daddy is over here selling weight. All right, well, it's not all of them, but it's always them. You knew when I said West Bend who I was talking about. Mushrooms and 1,400 joints worth of weed. You know that 16-year-old was getting some of that weed. You know, daddy got guns hanging around. You know what daddy does. You know that daddy don't go to work and punch no clock. Daddy didn't go to the local factory. She knew her daddy didn't work for the Girl Scouts. But how are you allowed to live? See there? This is why you can't even trust some organizations. Got somebody selling dope on the Girl Scout campgrounds. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes, that is not located on a Girl Scout campground. We're here in the 3rd Street Market Hall. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Thank you, Milwaukee. Because of you, the 2nd Annual Truth Community Awards was an unforgettable celebration of the leaders, changemakers, and heroes who make our city shine. A special thank you to our incredible partners, Milwaukee College Prep, the Milwaukee Bucks Foundation, Gruber Law Offices, Steinhoffels, Cousins Subs, and 3rd Street Market Hall. And thank you to our presenting sponsor, Potawatomi Casino Hotel. Together, we're celebrating community, culture, and impact. We'll see you next year at the Truth Community Awards.
A message from Tia Mowry, actress and Fair Celebrity Ambassador.
Game day isn't staged, it's lived. It's the shopping, the cooking, the laughter. For families managing food allergy, that same spirit of preparation means everything. Because food allergy isn't a lifestyle. It's a serious, life-threatening disease that can change everything in a moment. But being ready changes the story. It's knowing the signs, having a plan, and carrying epinephrine everywhere life takes you. Epinephrine is the only treatment that can stop a severe food allergy reaction known as anaphylaxis. It works quickly to reverse the symptoms and can save lives. As families and friends gather for the big game, we see what community looks like. It's one built on awareness, care, and love in action. Because readiness doesn't take away the risk. It brings back the joy. When you're ready to act, you're ready to live.
Visit foodallergy.org/ready to act to learn more.
You served behind the desk.
You served in combat.
You did 4 years and got out.
You were drafted.
You gave 20 years.
You gave exactly what your country needed.
And so did you.
When you raised your hand and swore an oath to your country, when you put your name on a dotted line, you became part of only 1% of Americans who did the same. You are a veteran.
You are a veteran.
You are a veteran. Because no matter when, where, or how you served, you made a sacrifice for your country, and you deserve support.
If you're struggling with life after service, don't wait. Reach out.
Reach out to a loved one, to a fellow veteran, to VA.
Find resources at va.gov/reach.
Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
This is The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Reggie says, I'd like to see those segregated signposts once again. Simplifies matters. We would be so heartbroken if we allow businesses to display who they do and do not want in their establishment. I don't know. I just don't like the deception. If you don't like my people, then tell me that, and I'll go somewhere else. Unless it's like the doctor's office. No blacks in the ER here. That's not fair. It would have to be like private businesses not related to health or education or public welfare or the public good. But if you have like a little cigar shop and you don't want Mexicans in your cigar shop, then the Mexicans should be like, that's okay. That you don't want us to come into your cigar shop. We don't want to come. That's okay. We go somewhere else. Está todo bien.
Sounds like Tony Montana.
That's fine. Tony Montana's Cuban. That's just a fancy Mexican. Would we be hurt by that if somebody tells you that I don't want you to come in? I have not let people in my house and they didn't protest. We want to come in, Sherwin. You can't. Aw, please. No, go away. Okay. A business should operate the same way. And I know that the only reason why we're not okay with that is because we know there's a whole bunch of businesses that would not let us in, but they do because they have to by law. I think that business owners, and maybe for franchises it's different, you got to put some kind of limits on it. Like a McDonald's can't say no blacks allowed. Even though McDonald's are independently owned and operated, kind of. McDonald's owns the building and the franchisee pays a lease amount to operate that McDonald's, and it's a portion of their profits they make from selling hamburgers. I did an expose on McDonald's a couple of years ago. It was fascinating. I don't know what caused me to do it, but McDonald's is a real estate company. Only like 2 or 3%, and there's a bunch of McDonald's all over the world, okay? Think about how big their real estate footprint is. There's a McDonald's probably every 3/4 of a mile in and around Metro Milwaukee, never more than 2 miles from each other throughout the whole metro area, I bet. As you get further out, they're probably a little bit more spaced apart, but there's McDonald's everywhere. Hell, there's probably 3 McDonald's just on North Avenue. From, I'd say, Humboldt to 124th Street, out to Brookfield, out there's a whole bunch of McDonald's. But imagine their real estate footprint. So McDonald's is a real estate company. Yeah, they sell hamburgers because that is the most money and the most profit they can make for the real estate that they own. So they own all the buildings, they own all of the land, and then if you're a franchisee, you're paying McDonald's corporate X amount of dollars per month to be able to have a McDonald's franchise. It is a hell of a racket. But if a McDonald's said no blacks, you you wouldn't be able to get a big arch. I've been seeing a lot of advertisement for the big arch, and I don't really eat meat like that. If I do eat meat, it's got to be like really super high quality. Like if I go to a fancy steak joint, I'll get a steak. But I'm not just going to go get a big arch, but I'm tempted.
It's not good.
You had a big arch?
Yeah, I was tempted too. It's like they use the double quarter pounder meat. So it just tastes like a double quarter pounder with some different stuff on it, like some mac sauce.
You make it sound like a double quarter pounder ain't good. Double quarter pounder is delectable. It's meaty. It's good.
I'm a burger connoisseur. I mean, I do like McDonald's every now and then, but, if I'm going to get a big burger, I want to go to a nice place.
Fair enough. But a lot of times, them nice places ain't got no drive-through. Don't get me started on the filet of fish. Filet of fish is a delicacy. Y'all know how I feel about filet of fish. I go get me. They had 2 for $7 recently. Because, it's Lent time, and I guess a lot of the Catholics don't eat meat on Friday, even though fish is meat. So the Catholics or whatever have Lent, and so you got fish fry specials all over the place. You know me and the filet of fish. I go get me 2 fillets. I don't eat them in the car. Too messy. I get home, put on some Kenny G, put on some silk boxers, or nothing at all. You know what I mean? Light a candle. Close the blinds. Close the shades. Eat my filet of fish. Oops, a little tartar dripped. Got to get the tartar. Don't waste the tartar. Gotta have to. Well, the world is a Truman Show, Sherwin says B. Bruce. Jasmine says, don't like the people, but love our money. Ain't that the truth? B. Bruce says, golf courses always discriminate. Look at Brookfield Golf Course, hanging of a black man, and no follow-up or investigation. Was that in Brookfield where they found the black man hanging? I think I remember the story, but I didn't discuss it because it just would have made people angry. But I don't know if that's the golf course discriminating or that's just where he was lynched. I don't know. Black people golf.
I've tried a wedding there. There's not a lot of trees there.
Well, they found at least one tree.
I guess.
You know what I mean? They said he hung himself. I don't know.
I'm from Brookfield. They definitely probably hung them.
Brookfield ain't that bad. Listen, those kinds of people are everywhere. They're not, but some places outside of the city of Milwaukee look the way they do and have the culture they have because those people wanted to intentionally move away from urban diversity. And here's what I say to those people. Good. You wouldn't have helped matters in the city anyway. Like, I don't blame anybody for wanting to move away. In fact, if you can move away, for some of you, I suggest you do. If you want a better quality of life, you want better public amenities and better health care, if you want better schools for your kids, if you can, in fact, move away, because I'm not going to give you all the statistics about how poor black families and black children do here in Wisconsin. It's literally the worst. You can move pretty much anywhere else in the country, and the outcomes for your African-American child will be better than they are here. So why would you stay? Unless you're making your living off of the problems and the plagues here. And a lot of people do. We have so many nonprofits here. About a third of our property, our real estate in the city of Milwaukee, so about 30-plus square miles of the 96 square miles of Milwaukee collects zero property tax revenue. None. So on the other 60 square miles, we have to constantly increase property tax rates because we're not getting any new land. However, I do have an idea. What if we here in Milwaukee just colonized Waukesha? What if we just took it? What if we just... No, hear me out. We just took it and just added Waukesha and its residents and its population and its property taxes to Milwaukee, and we just snatched it. We just took it from them. Like, yeah, this is ours now. What are they going to do? It's more of us than it is of them. You know how like Trump was just going to take Greenland and he's about to take Cuba? Why can't we just, and then we can have more room, we can have more space, we can build more stuff. And then some people in Waukesha, once they hear that they're going to be colonized and occupied by Milwaukee, some of them would leave willingly. And for those that didn't want to leave, well, we'd make it very uncomfortable for them to stay. Who's stopping us? What if the mayor and Milwaukee County executive, and here's the problem though, it might be a little military action. You know what I mean? We might have to. Why don't we just take it? This is the kind of world that we live in right now. I know the people that are listening to me in Waukesha, they don't like that. Well, what are you going to do? I think that if Milwaukee went head up with Waukesha, we would kick their asses. I think so. And hold on, they got guns out there too. But clearly so do we. And no, everybody relax. I'm not saying we go to civil war with Waukesha, but what's stopping us from taking it? Maybe we can make a deal. How about that? We'd make a deal with Waukesha because we need more space. We need more land. We need clearly more housing. Milwaukee's getting a little crowded. What if we made a deal where we occupy like half of Waukesha belongs to Milwaukee? They don't need all that space out there. And plus, there's nothing even in Waukesha. There's not a lot out there. Waukesha is basically, when I'm trying to drive to Madison, it just gets in the way. It's like, I got to drive through Waukesha. Ugh. Damn state troopers and Waukesha County sheriffs. Boo. And then there's Jefferson. How about this? We take 40% of Waukesha, and then Waukesha can take 40% of Jefferson County. Boom, problem solved. Right? I'm not trying to start a war, but Waukesha already has too much space. What do I have here? The most recent district-wide racial breakdown of teachers in Milwaukee public schools. Oh, this will be good. This is from the Wisconsin Department of Public Instruction staff data sets and recent district/charter reporting. The most recent reliable estimate, 2024-2025 era DPI-based patterns plus MPS-aligned data across licensed teaching staff, because I want to see who's teaching our kids. Malcolm X said, only a fool will let his enemy teach his kids. I was like, ooh, good point, Malcolm. They killed him, though. Across licensed teaching staff in MPS, the racial composition is 55% white, 35 to 40% African American. Apparently, there's 5% that are in flux. 5 to 7% Latino, 2 to 4% Asian, 2 to 3% multiracial. Less than 1% American Indian, Alaska Native, and Pacific Islander. MPS has one of the most diverse teacher workforces in Wisconsin. Well, that's good. Statewide, Wisconsin teachers are overwhelmingly white at 90%, but MPS is a major outlier. Oh, I got to take a break. These breaks are coming up quick. Still not representative of the student body. Compare MPS student demographics. 48% black, 29% Hispanic, 9% white students. And the teachers are 55% white. The students are 9% white. The students at MPS are 48% black. The teachers are 35 to 40% black. White teachers are overrepresented. Hispanic teachers are significantly underrepresented. Black teacher representation is closer, but still slightly below the student share. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. We'll be right back.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
come in with straight truth.
Did you go along with this? Did you plot this out? Did you go into the store with the intentions of causing a negative situation? This is the part that people don't like once they get into court after they get caught. Now, should he be executed for killing somebody he didn't do? I don't think so. He's already serving life. He's going to die in prison. I think that's what's going to happen. At the same time, this is a message to the younger folks.
Catch the Tory Lowe Show every weekday from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m.
Hi, this is Sherwin Hughes from 1017 The Truth, and I want to talk to you about something bigger than just buying a house. I'm talking about building a legacy. Owning a home isn't just about four walls and a roof. It's about giving your kids a place where memories are made, where birthdays are celebrated, and where they always belong. It's about planting roots, knowing your neighbors, waving from the porch, and being a part of a community that feels like family. If you've been renting and wondering if home ownership is even possible, Axe Housing is here to work with you. An Axe Housing coach will help you create a plan, a budget, and move step by step toward owning a place you can truly call your own. They've already helped over 4,000 families become homeowners, and many are paying less than they were paying for rent. Don't let where you are today stop your family's tomorrow. Start your journey at axehousing.org. That is ACTShousing.org. Your legacy begins at home.
The legendary Broadway show is back. The Wiz. The Chicago Sun-Times raves. It's an eye-popping, high-intensity revival. The music, the voices, the legend returns. Entertainment Weekly says, run, don't ease on down to this spectacular revival. The Wiz. Playing the Marcus Center, March 24th through 29th. Tickets at marcuscenter.org.
You spend more than 2,500 hours a year on your mattress, so is your mattress working for you? It's time to upgrade your sleep game during Steinhoffel's Mattress Madness. Their sleep experts will match you with the perfect mattress so you can wake up rested, refreshed, and ready to take on the day. Shop all the top brands at unbeatable prices, plus enjoy free delivery and a 120-night sleep guarantee so you can rest easy knowing you made the right choice. Shop Mattress Madness in store at steinhoffels.com today.
Prizes, exclusive experiences, even cash money. You want it? We've got it. Find a list of all contests and official rules by visiting truthcontests.com. That's truthcontests.com.
Happy kids heal faster, and that's why Starlight is dedicated to improving the mental well-being of sick kids across the U.S. Learn how at starlight.org.
Seriously injured? Make one call. That's all.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
If you've been renting and wondering if home ownership is even possible for you, Axe Housing is here to work with you. Axe Housing will have a coach that will help you create a plan and build a budget and help improve your credit. Then you can move step by step toward owning a place you can truly call your own. They've already helped over 4,000 families become homeowners, and you can be next. And a lot of them are paying even less than what they're paying Barada for rent. Don't let where you are today stop your families tomorrow. Start your journey with axehousing.org. That is ACTShousing.org. Your legacy begins at home. Yeah, buy a house, everybody, and then you'll have a house. And you'll be able to shovel the snow. I hope it's done snowing. I've had enough. If it snows again, it's just going to have to melt. I'm not shoveling no more snow or blowing no more snow. Well, my snowblower was out of commission for most of the winter. So I got a long driveway, too. Feels like it's gotten longer as I get older. But yeah, if it snows again, we're just going to have to wait for it to melt. Well, hell, it was 70 degrees, right? What, Saturday? I sat outside Saturday, and I went and sat on a patio. I took a picture and put it on my Facebook story. Had a busy Saturday night. My uncle had his 81st birthday party. It was packed. A lot of folks know my uncle. He's a famous fella in the city. I think the People's Lounge is the oldest, longest, continuously running, licensed African-American bar tavern in the city's history. They've been around for 50 years. So wished my uncle happy birthday. Saw my cousin. Tyler came. My brother was there. My other cousin was there. Kicked it there for a minute. Then I had to go and do some Sherwin things. You know, I move around a little bit. I stayed away from Water Street, though. No, thank you. We can remedy that problem because no one should have to fear or even make the choice. Do I want to go out and have a good time and risk getting shot? That shouldn't even be a possibility. 5 people were shot over the weekend. One of them fatal. If you notice, I don't typically talk about those incidents because I just don't want... You guys can read that stuff on your own. And what I don't want is for the overall image of black people in this city to be bad because we already have some pretty negative stereotypes that surround us. So I try and talk about solutions and I focus on policy and the importance of voting and all that other stuff. There's something else that you may notice that I don't talk about. Don't take it personal. This is a professional thing. And it's something I decided a long time ago. So when I first got started having my own radio show, what I found is that if someone's child goes missing, the first thing that people would do, they do less of it now. The first thing they would do is they would want to come up to the radio station, give some information, give a description, and they want us to put it out on the radio. And I used to do it faithfully. And the sheer volume of children that don't come home, ladies and gentlemen, is overwhelming. But whenever a mama came or a parents came or family members came, hey, Sherwin, can you put this out over the air? We're looking for our 12-year-old daughter, our 13-year-old daughter. And I would do it. And then I started to inquire a little bit more. And here's what I was starting to find out. Mamas and teenage daughters sometimes don't get along. Sometimes mamas come home from work and their teenage daughters are, let's just say, with their boyfriends when the mama gets home from work. And the mama kicks the daughter out of the house because I inquired on this woman because her child went missing 3 times in a year. And I was like, ma'am, what is going on? Well, if she don't want to act right, she can go live out there on the streets. Okay, cool. If you're kicking her out of the house, do not come up here and then plead with the community to find her when you're kicking her out of the house. And so I stopped doing it altogether because I don't know the details of these situations. And once you are known for reporting on missing children, then people will kick their kids out of the house, and then the kid decides that they don't want to come back. They stay at a friend's house, or stay at a family member's house, or they disappear, or they block their mother's phone number so the mama's going right to voicemail every time they call. I'm not going to be a part of that, but I had to learn that the hard way. And then she had the nerve to get mad at me. Sherwin, how come you're not telling the community my daughter is missing? Because this would be the 4th time this year, and you're making yourself look like a fool. And then she got very mad at me. So, sorry, guys. Somebody ruined it for you. Just like these idiots down on Water Street are going to ruin it for everybody. Thank you for listening. I'll see you next time.
Milwaukee, get ready. Join 1017 The Truth on March 24th from 6 to 7 p.m. for a special live conversation about the upcoming Black Family Wellness Expo. Denise Thomas will be joined by members of the Links Incorporated to share how this powerful community event is bringing free health screenings, wellness resources, and support to families across Milwaukee. Don't miss this important discussion and learn how you can get involved. Tune in live March 24th, 6 to 7 p.m. only on 101.